Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
And Schwarber belts one to center field. This one is deep. This one is gone. And way gone for Schwarber. A Schwarber bomb is 38. And a little insurance for the Phils, leading 2-0. Turner to center. Adams back at the wall. It's good! Cubs win! Julio cracks this high the opposite way. It is back in. It's gone! Julio! Career home run number 100.
Reds leading 1-0. Infield is in. Pitch on the way. Ground ball to third. Nice pick by Riley. And he's got the runner De La Cruz in a rundown. Charges him to the plate. Dives for him. And he is out. What a play by Austin. He just sprinted down the line, chased down De La Cruz, and dove for him for the out. Outstanding play by Austin Riley.
I think this week's been excellent. I think they've all worked hard. I mean, we're not anywhere near to where we need to be. I think when you start looking at like the constructability of a team, it takes pieces, it takes parts, it takes time. But I've been really, really pleased this week with the effort and attitude every single day. And they're trying to get better. They like football. They like to practice. So it's a clear step in the right direction.
Good morning. Welcome into Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We're working on some technical issues with the video right now, but we are here. We're awake. We're alive. Good morning, DB. How are you?
Well, I'm good, man. What's going on?
Not too much. I think we got a HDMI cable issue.
Oh yeah, that video looks el horrible.
So we're we're working on that. We're gonna hop in with.
Man, I turned myself off.
With my face, at least. Yeah, no, you got to keep your face on there.
No.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
I don't want to see me.
Yeah, I don't know why the HDMI cord's not working. That's not making me terribly happy. But how was your weekend?
That was good, man. How about you?
Pretty good. Got to see a little practice.
Yeah, practice.
Talking about practice.
Not a game. Not the
game we love.
No. I actually think, I had to go back and take it with a grain of salt. It's not, and I told you, Matty was joking.
Yes.
DeMarinis, but he's actually serious about not wanting to watch things with family members when they have people competing. I don't love that days like that.
You don't love being exposed?
The dad. No, just the dad in me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Right. So I'm glad to always get those over with and move on, keep everybody healthy.
Yeah, that is interesting because I watched it with you last year.
Yeah.
Right. And I never really, I knew you were watching Caleb some and trying to avoid watching him others a little bit, but it never really occurred to me like I was just talking to you like a football guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I give Matt credit for being more sensitive than I am of actually thinking about the other part
was the guy that was the guy that you guys threw out. Was that the situation?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, so I don't know if it was
so he wasn't a joy to watch practice with Davion.
Well, listen, it wasn't like he was bad. It was just, I think there was a lack of reality and self-awareness.
Oh, okay.
With the situation,
I could see that. I have to really be guarded.
Yeah. No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see
because I know what I know, and then I know what I see.
Yeah.
And I have to balance that. So would I rather not know or would I rather not see?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But at least you
so I go through that constantly.
Yeah.
What it does do is it keeps me up at night.
Yeah. Like trying to balance it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And until, he sent me the message yesterday about sleeping. Like, hey, go to bed, man. You'll be good. I'll be good. I was like, oh, okay. It's kind of funny. I can relax.
Yeah.
But I didn't laugh.
Yeah.
I just thought it was weird that was his takeaway.
Yeah.
Because I don't even remember saying that to him,
That you were staying up at night or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he probably just knows you.
It probably wasn't me that told him.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Because I know Jay saw him at Picture Days or whatever. Fan Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it didn't come from me. I didn't see him.
You got moles all over. You got there's
so
they're diming you out, man.
And it's weird too. I was my former life, I was telling my old partner, I said, it's funny. Sometimes you want to know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was using that, the Nick Baugh reference about, being an insider. Sometimes you can know too much.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Right. And so you don't know.
Yeah.
Which is why I told you yesterday.
I'll say, I think you try and guard me from that a lot.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I do a ton. And I was like, well, I don't really.
Which I get a little frustrated with, but I also appreciate. Because, I want to know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I could tell you this, and this, but I don't want to cloud your opinions.
Which is fair.
Because when I don't know, I don't know. But when I think I do know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna let it rip. But it's very interesting because I have to guard against hot takes.
Oh yeah. What was the biggest hot take you saw?
But it's fair though, right? Because we can only go by what we've seen.
Right. What was the biggest?
So it's probably more of an adjustment on my part
because you've seen more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay. And I don't want to have not have anybody to talk to either.
Sure.
So I don't want to be like, well, that ain't right. But I also don't always know either. So I have to be cognizant to take in information.
Sure. Because what I like to do is I'll ask you, like I'll see something and I'll be like, hey, what do you think about this guy? Right? I was doing that a lot over the weekend.
Yeah.
Where I would see a guy, and generally I'm asking for a reason, right? And sometimes
I assume when you do that, that means you like him.
Typically, every once in a while, there's someone where I'm like, hey, what's going on?
And just
here?
because you do doesn't mean.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna be wrong.
Like there was a who was the one?
I got one I know you're thinking of.
Was it Dylan?
Oh, Parrott?
No, linebacker Rogers.
Yeah.
I thought he looked good.
That's a good pull.
Like I thought he looked good.
Yeah, he's had to be really, really patient. Remember he was, was like the clash. Should I stay or should I go?
Yeah.
Right.
And I thought, honestly, I was impressed. He was one of the guys that stood out to me.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna ask me about Ochoa.
Oh, well, I don't have any questions about Ochoa.
He's good.
I mean, Ochoa's good.
I mean, they have. So let's just imagine.
Yeah.
So you're hoping that I hate this camera view. Just imagine you have to get a guy like you're hoping Maverick Noonan gets healthy.
Yeah.
Really strong, really physical.
I was surprised by him too.
He's a good player.
He looked good.
Right? You've got Ochoa, you've got McGahee, you've got McCullough.
I only saw this for like 2 plays. I'm almost positive I saw him run Shavers out there at the Jack.
Yeah, you're going to use him in different packages.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's not always going to be an inside. I mean, sometimes you can use him a multitude of ways. So I think.
I mean, I made a list of guys that I saw line up at the Jack. I probably missed a couple, but
they have some versatility.
Yeah.
They have some, and sometimes it depends on where you play your traditional down lineman.
Yeah.
Like if you play
they were shifting.
If you play in 2 eyes or you play over the guards,
mm-hmm.
that changes the way that you can play with your outside guys too.
And
or if you play with 2 4s, like you can do a lot of different things based on where you line up.
And I could have sworn I saw him go 4-front a couple times.
Yeah, they play some 4.
Yeah.
They play both.
Which makes sense if you're subscribed to my ideology and you think the defensive line has a lot of guys, then that makes sense to throw a couple in there every once in a while.
Yeah, the thing that dictates for me as a general rule of thumb, if you're not sure,
mm-hmm.
like if you're not sure if it's a 3-front or a 4-front, count the number of guys that have second-level responsibilities. Because sometimes they'll show a 4th and he'll be on the line of scrimmage and he may get out of there.
Yeah, I was mostly doing hands in dirt.
So, like, if they put their hands in the dirt, and sometimes, it just depends on who you are. Sometimes you can play in a 4, and your guy can be in a 2-point.
Mm-hmm.
Joey Porter would do it.
Yeah.
And he could just play it in a 2-point without having to put his hand
like
in the dirt.
Watt, JJ Watt would do it a little bit. He would do a lot,
right?
actually.
And, so, like, I would count the responsibilities of
like who's dropping in.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, I was mostly counting hands.
As a general rule, because we say it all the time, right? Oh, man, can't stop the run with a 3-front. I'm like, well, they're not always in a 3. Yeah. Or, sometimes we play in a 4. You heard Coach Rule say, hey, shout out to Coach White for playing some, a little more forward.
Mhm. Yeah, he did that last year when getting
I
a little more
can't remember
versatile.
the game.
I can't either. I wanted to
but
say Illinois for some reason,
but
but
they were no. I think it
it
might have been Iowa. No, was it Iowa? Or was it Wisconsin?
I think it was Wisconsin. It was a game they won.
And why are you bringing up old stuff?
Well, no, I remember it being in a win.
Yeah,
in the pro, like he was talking about it positively in a post game presser.
So it's like, there's a lot of versatility. Was it Rutgers? It might have been. You know what? It was because they shut down Monangai.
That's right.
They shut down Monangai.
Different red jersey, but a win.
What
I said, but it was a win.
Yeah. It was a dub, and I think so. But I do like the player evaluations.
So that's what I'm good at.
I do like the player evaluations.
I'm not I don't have the football background to be a scheme guy, but I'm pretty good at like athletic movements.
Yeah.
Like I can evaluate that at a pretty high level, I think. And so when I see a guy moving around, like I could not believe how well Dylan Parrott moves for how big that dude is.
Yeah, he's a good piece.
I also walked away being like, I am not worried about the depth of defensive tackle at all.
Yeah.
They've got 4 that I feel fine about.
The defensive takeaways, I thought it was interesting just because, I don't know, man. We're getting started early. We didn't even have any like.
Oh no, we didn't even mess around at all. Sorry, I got excited.
Yeah, I feel like
that's my bad.
I feel like
you want to talk about all the Canadian tennis I watched this weekend?
No,
so much.
Baseball was pretty good.
Baseball was great. The Red Sox might be good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. But I said that.
You did. I'm the downer. I understand that. I have a problem though with some of the national and Red Sox media.
Why?
Because they're sitting there like they were very upset with the Red Sox at the trade deadline because they're like, oh, they didn't do anything, and I'm like, yeah, but they did.
Yeah.
I get that Dustin May might not sign there, and I get that maybe you wanted somebody that had a better history, but in terms of like stuff, you're not getting a better guy than Dustin May.
Yeah. Hey, tell the guy, hey, Austin, Rico, we're not sending out any video until we look the way that we're supposed to. I look like this giant head sitting in this is awful.
I know. I need to. Do we want to?
But here, so I don't mind. Wait, we don't really take calls in the first segment, but we better get this one. He's probably going to work.
Oh, Cody?
You think he's on his way to work?
I don't know what does Cody does. What does Cody do?
I don't know. He helps build stuff. You want to take it?
Yeah, let's get to Cody.
I'll get to Cody first, so he's not waiting too long.
Cody, what's up, bud?
What's going on, gentlemen? How are you?
Hi, buddy. How are you? Are you on your way to work?
Damon, I've been at work for about an hour and a half already.
Hey, sorry. Jeez, Mr. Blue Collar. When you're not grocery shopping, you're working. How'd the Costco experience turn out, man? It was so loud there.
Yeah, well, on top of it, having 2 screaming kids doesn't help.
Oh, yeah. Hey, his vocals are nice. He can bark out defensive signals.
Yeah, well, he also does that inside a living room when it's just the 4 of us.
Less ideal.
The dogs run and hide.
He's like, check Mike.
Exactly. Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
I had some, as you would say, I had some thoughts.
Some thoughts?
Yeah.
THOTS. All right, talk to me.
So, I know I texted you a little bit on Saturday or Sunday, whatever, it all mixes together. I'm not going to give my second point because I will never tear somebody down in public. But my first point, I think...
Just give me a hint, Cody. Just give me a hint.
Yeah, even I'm curious.
You got to give me a hint.
Damon, it's the second part of the text message that your buddy agreed with me on.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and that's not really tearing him down. It's just you're not all in like everybody else was.
Yes.
Yeah, Lance was right there with you.
And my big point is unpopular to most Nebraskans, and Damon's been telling us this for about 3 months now. If they were to play tomorrow, I think McKewon's our starting running back.
I had 13 months, not 3.
Yeah, to me, he looked better than EJ. He looked more
McKewon looked really good. McKewon looked really good.
He looked more explosive.
I'm just telling you.
His routes were sharper. But again, it's also day 5, and we have 3 weeks to go.
Yeah. So I don't want to. I'm not.
I also didn't think EJ looked bad. I want to be clear.
This is
No,
hard.
I agree.
This is hard
EJ did
for
not
me.
look bad.
This is hard for me.
Because you love
thought
Mackay.
Mackay looks better.
It's not even so much that I love him. It's so much as some things you can just see.
Yeah.
A year ago at this time, I said that dude moves different.
He does.
That's all I said.
He does.
I didn't know what it was going to translate to. I'm just like when
You
I
didn't know if he
watch
was going to
these.
get big enough. You didn't.
When I watch him run, he moves different.
Yeah.
And he sat across from me last weekend, Cody, and I said, you look fantastic. What are you weighing? He said, I'm 202. I said, man, come on. He said, got a scale?
He bigger than 202.
He said, got a scale? I said, oh.
Oh, it's like that today, huh?
He means business. Yeah, I think he's a really, really, really gifted runner. Really gifted runner.
Now, my other point is if I got 3rd and 1 and I need 1 yard, based on body type, I am turning and handing that ball off to Vince every day of the week.
Genatone?
He is, yeah.
I kind you know who I thought was pretty good? I thought Booth looks to be back to have his that knee injury must be all the way healed, man. I thought Booth looked good.
I was surprised that was him when I looked up the number.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's pretty good.
What I had texted Damon is I was putting together a top 3. I'm going 1 Mackay, 2 EJ, 3 Booth.
Huh.
That was how I thought Saturday went. And then, like I said, if I need 1 yard, I'm just giving it to Janatone and telling him to go run over people.
Yeah, they got some options. I appreciate the call, man. And Cody, what's
one other thing?
Go ahead, buddy.
One other thing. Dylan looks fast.
Raiola?
That couple times. Yeah.
Yeah. You say fast with an S?
FAST.
Okay.
Fast.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
I would agree. I thought he was moving really well.
I hear you. He's paid the price. He's paid the price.
So,
What are you working on today, Cody?
I gotta go service the tractor, and then I gotta go mow a development.
I told you he
like
fixes things.
There we go.
All right, buddy. Be easy.
See you guys.
I think that was I don't think that was I don't think it's a hot take.
On Mackay?
Yeah. Because the coaches have been talking him up the last week.
Yeah, no, he looks really good.
It's just different.
And again, I thought Emmett looked pretty good as well.
Yeah, Emmett is nice. That's a nice if now he has to so here's the thing. And some of these guys, like if you were like, hey, DB, man, come talk to my guys. Come talk to the team. I would say the same thing that I said to you when they got the new staff. What I tell you?
When they got the new staff.
Just because it has been
doesn't mean it will be.
Doesn't mean it always will be.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be to the good.
Yeah.
Or to the bad.
Yeah.
Some guys have kind of rested on their laurels.
Mm-hmm.
And
some guys started chasing people down.
And some guys are like, yeah, you know what? Let's go get it.
You know who's chasing people down?
Who's that?
Keelan Smith is chasing people down.
Watch. Your boy can evaluate.
If that's not one of your
yeah, I don't need anybody to get in my ear. I said this last year,
you did.
My man.
You did.
He can be as good as he wants to be. It's up to him. So does he want to pay the price for rigor? With rigor.
So you know what?
Keelan Smith is legit.
So you know what surprised me was I think I lumped him in a little bit with Quinn Clark as like, hey, it's an athlete and a body type they really like. Keelan Smith is really good at the football part.
Mm-hmm.
Like that sounds dumb, but I was surprised at how effective of a route runner he was.
They come from good stock. I like the fact you pay attention to that too, because it's not just, and as you see, some of those guys, it's just about
like wiggle.
Yeah, they don't really. There's you could just tell guys that have feel.
Yeah.
And understand the concept versus, well, I'm a pretty good athlete. I'm just going to do this.
Yeah, he's like, I'll figure it out. Because I was watching a lot of the one-on-ones, So they were doing wide receivers, corners. They were doing running backs and safeties. They were doing tight ends and safeties and linebackers. And so I'm watching them, and some of the guys, like, it sort of looked a lot just like a, hey, go out, try and get open. It didn't look like it was scripted in terms of what they were doing, except for, like, the running backs were kind of a lot of going out in the flat, typical running back stuff, right? But the difference between guys that had really, really good feel that would make a very effective move.
Could stem you, use their body, feel,
like,
lean.
I don't want to put this guy on blast, but, like, Keelan Smith put Andrew Marshall in the ground on a double move.
The double move?
Oh, my God. That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
And Marshall's nice.
And Marshall's good. Yeah. And that wasn't, but it wasn't exaggerated, right? Like, it was a very good, effective football move. And then you'd see, this was a very, no offense, a very running back thing, is they'd go out and try and put a move on, and they do, like, a lot of hips and shoulders and, like, doing, like, the guy that, like, has a nice handle,
Boogity booty,
but, like, can't really get by you, Yeah. A lot of the running backs.
Shane, keep that comment up.
A lot of those guys were doing that kind of stuff. Keelan Smith, like, he did the double move and was by him before you even really realized it. Like, so that's what I mean. Like, he's really good at the football stuff. Like, he had a very good sense against a very good cover corner.
Yeah.
About how to get open. And he had a few like that. Like, it wasn't just one thing. Cause after that I was watching pretty close on Keelan, and I was like, oh man, that guy's good.
Generally speaking, was that the group that exceeded expectations, or were they about what you thought?
So the exceeded expectations, Keelan Smith and Quinn Clark. I don't want to say disappointed. I don't think Jeremiah Jones is ready. Now he's in his 5th practice in the fall, but I would even say Cortez Mills maybe isn't as advanced as I thought he would be, although a dog.
Very, very, very competitive.
Yeah, like, that dude might make it on the field just because of the attitude by itself, right?
He competes.
I don't think football-wise he's quite there, but again, 5th practice, there's a decent chance he'll figure it out before the 28th. I wouldn't put it past that guy because he seems like a psycho, and I love it.
They get chippy, don't they?
Jeremiah Jones seems physically maybe one of the most impressive guys on the roster. But he's also playing wide receiver full-time for the first time.
I told you it's hard.
Like, that dude.
It's hard.
I mean, we heard Da'Keil Shorts be like, oh, yeah, I had to win him to my room. Like, he could have played 5 different positions.
It's hard.
Right? Like, people thought he was going to be a safety if he went to Missouri or whatever, right? Like, that's part of the reason he ended up at Nebraska, because he wanted to play wide receiver. So, like, I was hoping maybe he was a little bit further along, but it makes sense that he wasn't. Honestly, I feel great about the running back room. Like, give me Mackay and Emmett 1-2, 2-1, however you want to put it. That's cool. I was really impressed with Booth, as Cody said. Like, I was really impressed with Booth. Did not think he was going to be somebody that could factor in.
I always love the afterthought guys.
What do you mean?
They're just afterthoughts.
Oh yeah.
And then you actually see it, and it's like,
oh, that guy's good.
That guy's good.
Yeah. But you just don't know. Like, coming from a smaller class, true freshman, like, I figured he might be good eventually. But I also thought, I don't know. I didn't know if it was like, hey, maybe you move him to like an H-back, sort of a Heinrich Harburg role. Like, that guy's a running back. I don't know what to tell you.
So
that guy's a running back.
We were at some event. I can't remember where we were, and I was just talking to Coach Barthel, and he was very, 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 very honest. He said almost the exact same thing you did. Hey, we want to recruit him. We saw him run. It was this, and this. Then we looked at the level of competition, and I was like,
it's hard when you're playing smaller classes.
Is he just better than everybody else? Yeah, I think he's just better than everybody else. He said, but the trick for me was, oh, no, you look at him up close, and he said, I don't care who he was playing against. I just knew that's a big guy that can move.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Hey, he's right. He's right.
And I was like, that's a good way to dumb it down. He said that's a big guy that can move.
He looked in good shape too.
Yeah, he's changed.
Like, he changed his body a little bit.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that I think and
I think he worked hard to stay in a running back body.
Yeah, and you know what's funny too is his dad is yoked. Like, his dad's a fit dude, and has always prided. I kind of met him over fitness.
Yeah,
he's in that my elite nutrition guy.
Oh yeah, Herald. Kind of like that lifting community.
He's in that group of guys that I met years ago.
Yeah.
So it was about the body and eating, but Connor was just he's just like a bigger, thicker kid. you see some cuts now.
I would say he
some
looked shredded up.
You know, because he was kind of he's just a little bit of a squatty body when I saw him, and he was kind of giving people those vibes. But he appears to be fully healthy. The knee is good. You know, he played not all last year. I'd say a third of the season on a raggedy knee.
Yeah, he's banged up.
Yeah, and had no business playing. You know what I mean? So, but what it showed me was, number one, he's tough. Right? Is that night we talked about, you know, could he do any further harm to it? And you know, it was playoffs, and it was just really good conversations. It was just dad to dad, right?
Yeah.
You know, coming off the collarbone and, you know, the broken bone in the back. And
yeah.
I was just like, hey, man, like, believe me, I was terrified.
Yeah.
Again, you know, so, like, I get it. But he's a good runner. And he's got –
I didn't realize he was that fast either.
Here's the thing.
Like, he's pretty fast.
While you may not always have loved their offense in high school, what he was really good at was finding creases.
Yeah, had to. Right, because he's
a lot of inside run
snaps,
game, man, and he's
time,
close
right?
to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
So one of the things that it taught him is to find creases,
crease,
they were
hit the
rhythm
gap.
kind of timing with like, you know, veer and like
kind of a little mesh.
Yeah, it's an offense that is conducive to.
Wasn't quite like Wake Forest slow mesh, but it was a little bit of a mesh and like kind of a delayed a little bit even.
Yeah, he looks natural doing it.
Yeah,
but it's again, I think I have to be careful with like super hot takes and I'm willing, because Adam brings up a good point, and I talked about this, I think with you maybe, might have been Shave, I don't know. Adam says, hey, morning, jumping in late. Rule's tone has been ultra positive this offseason. Saturday presser prior to practice, his tone seemed changed with we have a long ways to go. Thoughts? I think you saw that's a coach that this is my 100% my opinion. I think that's a coach that knew is the first day of pads. It's at the end of the week. It's after media days. It's Saturday night. It's the first time for a lot of those guys. I think he tempered his own expectations with what he knew was going to unfold.
Sure.
Because I would
situationally.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I would venture to guess he wasn't overjoyed after Saturday night. I think he's going to say, hey, there's some good things.
But there were some things he liked.
There were some bad things, or not some things we need to work on. He wouldn't say bad. But I would guess, and probably more defensively than offensively, I would say he was going to be like, yeah, let's go get back in the lab. This is why we coach.
I just took it as he was in off-season mode. Now he's in fall camp mode.
Yeah.
Like that was the tone difference to me. It was like, hey, yeah, we did have a really good off-season. I am really excited about how this team can go. Now it's time to do the work, right?
Could be.
Because he also said in that press conference, he goes, hey, we've had an excellent week.
Yeah.
Like that's a direct quote.
I did think it was interesting. I thought Saturday was kind of a culmination of what we had kind of thought. I mean, listen, there's no two ways around it, and I think a lot of guys, to the good or to the bad, understand now. It's very, very different when pads come on. It's cool to rah-rah and skirt and pom-pom and be energetic and want to go to work.
A lot of people are good in shorts.
Until the actual bodies start flying.
Yeah. You can kind of tell the guys that like that more.
Oh, yeah.
Like you can kind of tell the guys that
a lot of kids, like a lot of people don't want the rah-rah.
You know. Yeah, a lot of people don't want to hit the grocery store.
Yeah, like a lot of people, you could tell that there's a lot of guys out there that like that better. Like they want the nasty.
And there's like these, and the cool thing is I think the coaching staff will be willing to evolve. Like, don't kid yourself. There's nothing that's set in stone. I mean, look at the O-line they trotted out. They wasn't exactly what everybody thought, was it?
They did some different combinations out there.
I mean, it's just gonna be one of those.
I will say, offensive line goes about 9 deep before I have any questions. I'm just being honest.
Were you surprised by any of the body types?
Man, Teddy looks lean.
Oh.
Teddy looks real lean. Like he looks like a tight end, honestly. Like he looks really lean.
Yeah. All 6'10" of him.
Yeah.
It's a long way from the ground.
I know. I'm still a little worried about that, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
You can help out.
And you got some options.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I still think long term at that spot, you're probably looking at Gunner. I think, but
Yeah. Shout out Andrew Rogers.
yeah, he got that one.
He's
It
again
was the only one.
Listen.
Like the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good on him.
No, that's fair.
I don't know.
No, I thought the offensive line, like it really wasn't until you got to what it seemed to be the third unit to me that I was like, all right, there's some work to do.
How do you think we? I hear you, Lance.
Honestly, I thought Pritchett held up really well. Like I thought Pritchett held up really well in pass pro.
His fundamentals have gotten tremendously better.
And physically, he's everything you want out of a left tackle, right? Like I'll be honest, I was watching. Oh no, sorry, I'll get to you in a second. I don't know how.
Are you talking about F2?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't want to mispronounce his.
I don't either. I'll get to you in a second, family. No, I thought he, because I was watching the lines pretty, like, not exclusively, but that was certainly my focus.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Pritchett held up really well. I saw in good on good and on like offense versus defense, because they do a lot of technique stuff against each other, so I didn't ignore that.
What I tell you about their pre-practice?
Yeah,
it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Isn't that really just practice?
It is. It's just like
I don't even know why they call it that.
That's not a warm-up. You're already practicing.
It's like 25 minutes.
I know. But they do a lot of like O-line on O-line technique stuff and D-line on D-line technique stuff. So when they were doing that, I was watching the skill positions and quarterbacks and stuff. But when they were going offense versus defense, I watched probably 90% of the reps. And I was really, really impressed with Elijah Pritchett. Like I thought, because that was kind of things like, oh, great run blocker, but I don't know about pass pro. I thought he held up against guys that I am pretty positive are good. I thought he held up really well.
Yeah. He's I really like the fact that it's not always rainbows and butterflies for him.
Yeah.
It's a totally different culture, it's a totally different environment. It's way different. You're carrying some, if you want it to be, you're carrying some emotional baggage, leaving Alabama, coming to Nebraska. You've had the move, the transition, and you're coming into it. It would be like it was just like I'm trying to figure out Kansas City, like to and from, and so I'm like lockstep with Kyle Crooks. We're talking about all these different scenarios, and he's actually helping me. Well, hey, let's just do this, and we can do this, and there's no reason for you to have to do this. Let's do this. I'm like, oh, look at the new guy with taking the lead. I'm messing with him, and he's like, hey, when you care, you care. And that's kind of what I liken it to with Pritchett, because he's coming into a group that is well established from a camaraderie standpoint. I mean, those guys do what they do, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, it's them.
Yeah, everybody else.
And it's everybody else.
They travel in a pack.
Dude, it looks like a giant herd.
Yeah,
right?
They do.
People think I'm like.
No, it's true.
From the dress to it's just the same. And that's the way you want it, right? I told you the story about.
Honestly, hard to tell the difference between some of the guys. Like,
right. I told you the story in New York.
Yeah.
Right? I don't even know who they were waiting on, but whenever that particular person got there and everybody was, or your boy was like, let's move. And they were just like, whoosh, they moved. I was like, damn. I'm telling you, he was giving me that Malcolm X movie vibe in the movie where he was like,
no one man should have
all
that power.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody sat on their bus.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just those guys. So it had to be hard for him.
Yeah.
Right?
To come into kind of an established group.
Brother from the South. Like, it's just different.
Yeah.
And I was joking with Severe when he put that tweet out. He's like, hey, such and such didn't come out with this was the group. And I was like, man, you trying to get your privileges revoked. It's awful early for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just, and Donnie, in my opinion, strikes me as the type of coach where you have to, whatever it is that's asked of you, you have to do it all the time.
Yep.
And when it is, it's rewarded, and when you don't, it won't. So
I think that makes sense.
Those guys are just going to be in progress.
Yeah.
But they got a lot of them. That's for sure.
Real quick before we
Jason, where you been, man? Jason's close to a day oneer.
Yeah. Well,
years.
Our family guy.
Yeah, F2.
Yeah, Jason. So to get back to your point, no, I was not disappointed in Smith and Clark at all. They were really, really good. Clark's contested catch ability, really high level.
You were talking about the 50-50 ball?
Yeah.
Go get it.
Really good on the contested catches.
He's a cool kid too.
Yeah.
Like, he's a cool kid. A lot in there.
Yeah.
I call him spoiled, but he may beg to differ.
And I was super. I mean, honestly, Keelan Smith may have been the person I walked away the most impressed by from practice.
Yeah.
He was. I mean, that's the most I've seen Mekhi too, so he's up there. Like, that's by far the most I've seen Mekhi.
I hope I didn't hype that up.
No, he looked. You know what? You didn't, because I thought it was a different guy. Like 90% of the practice. I swear to you.
I still think Verzal does too.
No, like I got the numbers mixed up.
I still want to go back.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, I saw what I saw. And I'm like, I also remember what you told me last year after practice.
Yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about. It wasn't 45.
Yeah.
It wasn't Dickey, man. It was.
I got confused. So I was watching numbers and I didn't have the roster on me. And so for some reason, I confused Mekhi with another guy. And I was like, oh man, I'm really impressed with 22. He's doing really well. And then when I got home, I looked up the roster and I was like, oh, that was Mekhi the whole time.
22. Was that Kenneth?
No, but Mekhi is 22.
Oh, no. You're talking about what he was wearing?
Yes.
This year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
In practice, he was wearing 22. I confused him with another guy. And so I was like, oh, I'm actually really impressed by this guy, whatever. And so it wasn't even you. I was like, I haven't really seen Mekhi that much. Like, because it wasn't you, because I thought 22 was a different guy.
You know my favorite 22.
Literally the whole practice. Yeah, Emmitt Smith. No, I'm just kidding.
He's actually the anti-Emmitt Smith.
I know.
Nah, no disrespect to Emmitt, and I'm not putting Mekhi on that status yet. Doug DuBose.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Who finds himself, Mekhi may, interestingly enough, find himself in a little Doug DuBose-esque situation.
Yeah.
Because Doug was supposed to always be the guy.
Yeah.
And he showed flashes of being the guy.
Yeah.
And injuries and his competitive room.
Yeah.
Doug needed to do the right thing all the time, a little more. Doug was, if you ask Coach Solich, DuBose may have been he would put him in the discussion of most gifted runners of all time. Doug, but D2 makes the greatest what if.
Yeah.
You know how Marvel has the what if ... series?
Yeah.
Shane, you know about that, right?
Oh, yeah. I watched some of it. It was okay.
Yeah. He is, but he's, I still don't think we're talking about the same guy, though.
You don't think so?
He ain't wearing 22.
What was he wearing at practice? What number was he wearing?
35.
I was confusing 35 with 22.
Oh, I was about to say.
Yeah. Sorry, no. Mekhi wasn't wearing 22. I was confusing 35 with 22.
Yeah.
That was my thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching 35 this whole time thinking he's a different.
Mosey's 22.
Yeah, so I was watching 35 thinking it was Mosey the whole time. And I'm sort of puffing my chest up. I'm like, oh, my guy, Mosey, doing good. And then I realized that I'd gotten it backwards. And I was like, oh, I actually didn't see Mosey.
Was it weird that kind of the takeaway? And it's not Isaiah's fault.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not.
No, he's got to learn the position.
And I'm not being Denny Downer when I'm not saying what everybody else is saying about a particular player. I'm just telling you, it's a hard position to learn.
Yeah.
You got to give it time.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh man, DB, you're down almost. No, he's gifted.
Yeah, I think he's going to be really good.
High football IQ.
I don't think he's learned the position yet. You
don't just hop in and all of a sudden can play running back at that level. It's difficult.
Yeah.
So I don't want people to think like, oh man, they hyped this guy up, and the media said this, and Dana said, like, it takes time.
Yeah.
That was his first live action in pads.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I don't want people to be down on him either. I'm just telling you, Yeah, the other guy is really, really good.
Yeah, I confused the chat. I was confusing Mosey as 22
No, I got you.
with Nelson as 35.
Yeah, I got
right?
you.
Nelson was wearing 35. You guys are correct. I was confusing him with 22.
Oh, I know.
And so I'm watching, and I think the whole time. That's why I know it wasn't you hyping me up, because I thought it was a different guy.
Yeah.
I thought it was my guy.
And I try not to say anything.
Yeah.
Like I do. I don't want anybody's opinion to be skewed by what I say.
Yeah.
Because, again, I want people to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And if people think that I'm always going to,
Yeah, you're not going to like Bigfoot me on what I think.
It's just not any fun.
Yeah.
And plus, I like what I like. Like some things I like about some, you know what I mean? Like I'm particular. So, I mean, there's lots of people that are really, really good.
Yeah. I just think it's going to take Mosey a little bit to learn the position.
It's hard.
Like, I'm still very high on him. Like, that's a guy that
There's a lot going on in that offense, too. How about the quick game?
A lot of quick game. Honestly, and like
gave legs to what Holgorsen was saying about doing the simple.
Yeah. Routine plays. I mean, that's really the core of these offenses, right? We call them air raid. We call them whatever. The concepts of them are like, hey, there's a lot of really simple plays that if you can make them over and over again, you will get free yards.
Who said it was just this week? Was it Coach Rule talking about Dana where he said, well, he's not air raid?
Yes.
And I just thought it was weird that he said that because I don't think we still think that, do we?
Not internally.
Although when we first hired him, I do think some of the fan base thought that. Okay.
Not internally anymore. But when like he got play calling duties mid last season, they're like, wait, so they're going to switch to air raid in the middle of the season? It's like, no, like it's concepts, right? We're just talking about concepts. That's all we're doing. Like the Dana Holgorsen offensive concepts in the passing game are air raid concepts, where you have simple stuff that you basically can get for free if you can execute it over and over and over again. That's all the air raid really is, right? And then some people add pace to it. Some people add a little bit more running game, like Dana Holgorsen has at times.
Do you think they want to play fast?
I think they're going to play fast strategically. I don't think they're going to play fast all the time.
I remember going back to something Sam said that he and I went back and forth on in January. About pace, and I was like,
I don't think I think they're going to do it strategically.
But I didn't want to shoot it down because he did make some legit points.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be curious. Micah was at practice. Is it Thursday? No, Friday. So he's at practice Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him what he thought, and he goes, "Man, do you know who we're kind of sleeping on? And tell me if you agree.
Okay.
If there is such a thing with this particular player.
Okay.
He goes, you know how sometimes you're watching a drill or you're watching a group, and you're just like, oh man, he's a dude. I was like, yeah, do tell.
Mm-hmm.
He said, man, you could just tell number 17's a dude.
Oh.
Is he overlooked?
Well, so we kind of had this conversation.
Is Ja'Cory Barney overlooked?
We kind of had this conversation a couple weeks ago, right?
You asked me, and I laughed.
Right. I think people.
Is it because we don't talk about him?
Yes.
Okay.
We talk about Key and Hunter.
I thought it was funny that both, and I know you rock with Breeze.
Yeah.
So I was like, interesting.
Yeah. I also just think like
I work with a ding dong that just said that.
I was like, Ja'Cory Barney's just really good. Like I think he's just really good.
See how hard he does his craft?
Yeah. Like that dude, if you want him to do the same thing, the same hard thing every day, like Ja'Cory Barney's going to do that.
He practices hard.
Yeah. I love that dude.
Hard. For as much fun and as much as he loves football, he practices hard.
Yeah.
What'd you tell me? Was it last week or the week before last? You go, he may be their toughest guy.
Yeah, I've been saying that since last year.
But I don't know. I'm not saying you're right. Maybe pound for pound.
He's in the conversation for sure.
Because there's Justin Evans.
Oh, yeah.
There's Mackay.
Yeah. There's some tough guys. Don't get me wrong.
I just mean emotionally, too.
Yeah. But I mean physically and emotionally. Listen, I'm not saying he's at the top, but whatever the top group is of toughest guys on the team, he's in it.
You know who's pretty tough?
Who?
I think Buford's pretty tough.
Okay.
I thought he had a good night. I was a little underwhelmed on the back end.
With the defensive backs?
I thought Buford had a good night, man.
Yeah.
And I like him because, he's had to grind. There hasn't been one easy day at Nebraska. And he is a guy that like counts his blessings.
Yeah.
I mean, he just
Yeah.
he's a tough guy. He belongs in that discussion.
I will say before we take a break here, and I fixed the camera because I figured out what's wrong, and it's just that I'm stupid.
You want Lance to hold through break, or you want to get him?
Oh, let's get Lance real quick. But I will say
It's up to you.
Yeah, we'll get Lance.
Okay.
I will say the one thing, whoever we think is starting in the defensive backfield today, I don't think is who's starting on August 28th. That's all I'm going to say. I think there's going to be some movement back there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really capable guys, and you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt just because you were here last year.
Yeah. There'll be some moving parts.
That would be my guess. Let's get Lance here before we take a break. We'll talk to Sam McKewon here coming up at 8. Lance, what's going on, buddy?
What time is it?
7:50.
Hey guys, how you doing?
L Beezy off the Heezy. What's up?
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, you know what? Just wanted to chat a little bit about Saturday. I think this team is going to be really good guard, center guard. I mean, all the time. And I think when you look at this team and they will be really good running the football. I think Emmett runs with a lot of motion. He's just really shifty. The shoulders are always moving. But Mekhi does something that I think is the best we've had since Amir, and he has this ability to cut back a run and get an extra 4, 5, 6 yards where you go, I didn't really see that. And all of a sudden you see him just kind of slither on by a few guys. And so I'm really excited about the year that he's going to have.
Hold that thought, because I get goosebumps. You know what that is, Lance?
What?
I talk about all the time. That's the practical application of it. When he makes a move, he's gaining ground, right? So it's a deceptive skill. Sometimes guys make moves, and it's to make somebody miss laterally. He almost always, whether it's a cutback or a wiggle, he's still getting vertical. So even after the move, you look up and you're like, huh. That's extra 4 or 5 yards, right? You didn't really see it coming until they spot the ball. I'm in complete agreement. I'm in complete agreement with that observation you just made. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's just weird. I mean, and I think what you nailed it, the lateral movement. I think when you watch Emmett run, you see him try to make a guy miss laterally, where Mekhi is making a guy miss and gaining valuable yardage. I think it's kind of hidden in the game. Leaving the practice, and I was about the 45, about 25 rows up. That wide receiver room. I mean, we're not even talking about Dane Key, which was probably one of the top 2 transfers you brought in. I mean, that room, that group is as good as I've seen since I've followed Nebraska football in terms of top to bottom.
And you're kind of closer to a Denny Downer or a real. No, let's go Denny Downer. I won't even say realist. You're typically more skeptical than not, right?
Absolutely. I think Dana could have this mad science type of year, because I think we're talking about guys like Smith and Clark and Mills, who I think the ceiling is super high on when you watch him. When they were going one-on-ones in practice, he's not going against the bottom of the list. He's going up against Sierra Wright and Marshall and holding his own. And when you watch a freshman go up against Sierra Wright, and you can see Sierra Wright get visibly frustrated, that he is actually having to do some work. So that position, and then we're not even talking about Bell. Bell's not even here, and so I think the big chess piece for me is the tight end position, because if my third or fourth option is Isaiah Hunter or Ja'Cory Barney, then where does that put Harburg, who looked good, or 44, who is a good tight end? But yeah, so if I'm throwing that football, I'm like, man, I don't know. Yeah. I got to get that ball to the guys that are going to make plays in space,
So
hey, what's the third best DB on Minnesota?
You asked me a question in the chat the other day I thought was really, really good. I wanted Shane to keep it up there. It was, hey, it was basically taking advantage of opponents' weaknesses versus playing to your strengths, right? So
Yep.
The tight end room makes me think of kind of the question in that context where you have to have an intermediate passing game with this offense that keeps defenses honest. So I think you have to use tight ends as part of it if it's going to be true pro style. I just don't know how. You know what I'm saying, to your point about, well, my guy's got to get balls. And I understand that.
It's a lot of mouths.
But I do think with the integrity of the offense, your tight ends have to play some sort of an integral role, if you know what I mean. Now, the balance absolutely is why they pay him the big bucks, and I just get to talk to you guys. What else you got for me, Champ?
That's a good one.
Okay, yeah, is it?
Well, yeah, I just, I don't. I say this. My concern on the defense is more of as a unit, as you face Big Ten competition, Big Ten offensive lines. Can you hold up against the run at the point of attack without having to constantly bring guys in and out? I'm just not 100% sold on that backside, and I don't. Maybe it's our linebacker last year, Bullock, played exceptionally well. Javin Wright looks good, but I just don't know if they have the guys, and so that to me is going to be where I'm like, hey, let's see if it can come together.
Back end is in second level, or back end is in third level?
I think I have some questions about third level, and then I have some questions about just linebackers. If you're going to have to play like down in, down out, constantly subbing to match personnel, but to me that becomes a little more, when we talk about offense, or when you talk about offense, it's, hey, I'm going to bring in 13 personnel and good luck deciding how you're going to cover them. I think if you're going to scheme our defense, if you're going to have to match up play in, play out, that would be really difficult for us right now.
All right, we'll get to that.
Appreciate the call.
It's an interesting point. You want me to talk of that before we go?
Yeah, real quick. Let's take it.
So I think that's the interesting part, because when you look at, they all do a little something different, right? So let's just take the Jacks if you want to be good at the point of attack. So you get something different with Noonan than Ochoa, and McCullough than McGahee. So situationally, you're going to have to kind of package that. That's the equivalent to the 13 personnel. You want to look at interior guys, right? Where can you move Shavers around? Can he be a downhill guy? Do you put him with Bowers? Is he with hyphenated last name? He probably needs a new nickname. You just want to go with the law firm? That's not very original.
Yeah, a little Ben Jarvis, Green LSE there.
So those guys are hammers. Like Bauer is going to be good downhill. Hyphenated last name is going to be good downhill. So you have guys that situationally, like, it's like how we would use, like, Bo Ryan or somebody, where if you want to play the guy's strengths and you want them to get vertical, you have to play defense around them that allows them to play to their strengths. So it's possible, but the good thing is they have options.
Yeah.
It may be situationally like 13 personnel if you don't feel like you have a total runner hitter, right? I mean, not everybody's going to be Bullock. So could cover, could play downhill, could play at angles. Like those guys, I mean, don't just roll out of the rack, especially they have that kind of IQ either. I mean, if you get a D-gap to D-gap run fitter, you got to do it.
Well, let's not pretend like Coach Rule didn't call Javin Wright a cheat code last week. So
he just doesn't have to take him off the field a ton. Now, how he'll fit in a power run game, they'll figure that out too.
Yeah. Also,
he does look hey, how about
he looks good. I do sit here and I go, okay, how many people are actually going to run 13 personnel?
I mean, I keep hearing Michigan. I don't know.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Outside of that, we're talking Minnesota, Iowa, Penn State.
Yeah. Although, did you see Penn State?
Maybe.
Hey, go back and watch that Minnesota on record for camp preview.
Yeah.
You see some of those offensive formations?
Yeah. I'm just saying, not a lot of teams are going to run 13 out against Nebraska, even if they wanted to, or even if they think it's an advantage. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Sam McKewon from the Omaha World Herald here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, and with that depth, of course, comes competition in the position groups. Let's start with the libero position, obviously. With Lexi Rodriguez's departure, who takes over that spot? And Jacob, in your eyes, who are the couple front runners here?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the two main position battles, like there's competition everywhere, but the two ones that are probably most up for grabs right now are opposite hitter and libero. And they're two very different battles. At libero, we're familiar with the competitors there, and obviously you've got Carrie Leinbach, the freshman from Lincoln Lutheran, joining that group to make it even stronger as a whole. But the two players competing for that job played last year, in Lainey Choboy and Olivia Mauk, and both of them showed significant strengths last year. They really helped the team. They were a big part of their success last year, and now it's just a matter of kind of who was able to win out. And Danny said a lot of it might come down to personality and how, like, what the team needs. Like, do you need the more steady presence that Olivia brings? Do you need kind of the more energetic, outgoing presence that Lainey Choboy has? So that'll play as much into the decision as on-court skills, because they're both very talented, obviously, and we've seen that.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys just have like a lot of doubters and stuff that have doubted them throughout the years, and a lot of guys have been through this program, had a lot of losses, and they want to get back to playing their standard of football, and I think that's where I'm coming from as well.
Henry said in Las Vegas that you came in and had a message that you believe this O-line room was better than where you went with Notre Dame. Why did you just believe that coming in?
Yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily better. I feel like kind of puts a disgrace where I came from. I think it's just we have a lot of talented guys. I think we just have to keep sharpening a lot of these edges, and this room can be the best O-line in the country. I believe we can win the Joe Moore Award, and I think we will. I think we just have to take it day by day, though. I mean, we have to come in with the same urgency, the same consistency, and to prove that we are the best.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
I'd like them to, be very appreciative of all the people that came out here today. I'd like them to be very appreciative to the Fan Fest. I'd like them to be very appreciative of all the people that came out there. But, this isn't like last year, this was a little different. This was, a different schedule. So this was like, kind of me getting on the mic. And it was kind of a fun thing. There's nothing, this is work tonight, right? We're in full, this is our first day in full pads. In the NCAA right now, you get 1 day of full pads in the acclimation, and then you get 8 more times in full pads before the first game. Just think about that. You get 9 times to be in full pad. 9 times you can actually physically tackle someone before the first game. If you want to know why early season football sometimes looks pretty sloppy, that's why. And so we don't have any time to waste. And so, I'd like them to, entertain the crowd with their effort, with their physicality. So I haven't really said very much. To me, we have so much work to get done, and this is like a really business-oriented team. So I want them. I want them to have fun. I want them to dap people up at the end and all that. But we just have to get better at football while we're out there. As important to me, and the fans are unbelievably important to me. That stadium's very important to me, and winning home field. And so it'll be the first time under the lights in Memorial Stadium. So I expect us to play to a certain standard when we're in there.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Sam McKewon from the Omaha World Herald. Sam, how are you this morning?
Good. How are you guys?
Sam, I am. We're on the clock, right? We're going to put this thing at 25 minutes and count backwards.
There you go.
What do you got to do? You got to work? I mean, what is it? It's Monday.
Yeah, stuff, I got stuff to do.
What are you doing with work?
Two nights of the day, Oh. Yeah, I got work.
All right, work it is. Let me ask you something. Won't ask about Coach Rule just yet. Let's go after Saturday night. Let's go positive confirmation on what Sam McKewon thought first. Give me positive confirmation on something you thought that you walked away with Saturday.
I think that their young receivers have gotten better, so I thought Quinn Clark and
is that what you thought going in?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
That I think, their expectations were that they, what they had said seemed positive. And, we had kind of heard the BTN guys right that, I guess we saw them right that, they like Nebraska's receivers. So I wanted to go and see that because in the spring, when we watched the practice, honestly, the defensive backs kind of had the better of the day. But I thought that changed on Saturday night. I thought Nebraska's receivers, for one thing, were physical in their blocking and physical in their approach. And I thought that they won more battles, to be really honest with you. So I thought it was, they look good on the perimeter. They look motivated out there. I think Ja'Cory Barney does set a energy tone. I mean, he's not the strongest guy or the largest guy.
He practices hard, Sam.
He does.
He practices really hard.
He does. He loves it, and so you need guys like that on your team who care and want to be good and want other people to feel the same way. And so I was confirmed with that. I think that was encouraging to see. And then obviously I have a pretty good sense of what Mekhi Nelson can do, and I thought he looked good. I thought the tight ends looked good. On the defensive side of the ball, they certainly have a lot of length in the secondary, and they've got a lot of options in the secondary, and it's fun to watch those guys go at it. Certainly a lot of energy, a lot of want to, a lot of talent, and I think they're going to probably be pretty good back there. And I think some of those older guys are going to get challenged.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to play 80 snaps. They're going to get challenged, and they might not always play very much if they don't play well.
Sam, it's funny because I think the last thing I said before we went to break and brought you on was there's going to be guys starting in that secondary that we are not prepared for. That
right, maybe by season's end. Sam, I'm with you. I thought, did you say it best? Was it you that said middle of the season guys? Was that you that said that last?
Yeah,
I think that's
yep.
That's a really guys that need a couple of games to get under their belt of real game speed before, because they'll already shuffle some guys on that back end this week, I think.
They might. Yeah, I'm sure they will. There's a lot of options back there, and again, it's going to be hard to keep some of those guys off the field. I don't know that you can just say, well, this guy's been here a long time, and he's done some good things, so we got to play him. I think they're going to play the best guys, and they have the ability to do that now. There's been years past where you really couldn't take a player off the field because the guy behind him didn't know what he was doing. And it wasn't that he wasn't talented, but the know-how portion wasn't necessarily there, and it felt like last night there was more guys that kind of knew what they were supposed to do. And when you have that, then you can put a young talent on the field because he can kind of keep his wits about him.
It's early, super early, but do you get a sense on how versatile you think they want to be defensively? Because that plays into the know-how versus talent and know-how and talent getting on the field discussion too.
Yes. You can tell that they have a variety of pass defense packages that they want to deploy, presumably on third down. You're limited if it's 3rd and 3. You're limited in what you can do. You have to have certain bodies on the field in case they run the football. But you can tell that they have a lot of different ideas that they want to try to pursue on third down. You can see that they have a variety of pass rush packages that might be helpful to them. And so there's a lot of, you can tell. We're not going to see everything, but there's obviously a number of guys they want to use. Now, again, some of those things come into play when you get a defense off schedule. So, some of the things they might want to do, it's 3rd and 9, and that's when you're able to do them. But that means you got to play really well on 1st and 2nd down, and you got to play well on 1st and 2nd down with the guys that the 11 guys that you generally trust. So I think this is going to be a team that on third down is going to do some fun stuff, but they got to make sure that the offense isn't in 3rd and manageable or 3rd and short. And so I'll be watching that 1st and 2nd down defense. It comes back to the run defense. Can they consistently stop the run? And do they have the guys that can do that and hold up against teams that want to A, run the quarterback like Cincinnati will, and B, want to roll 2 or 3 tight ends out there like Michigan will.
Sam, when you kind of talk about stopping the run, and what's your primary concern there? Because I think there's a couple different potential issues. A, obviously, you lose Ty Robinson and Nash Hutmacher. And then DB brought up in the last segment, with even as much as some of us might like the linebackers, they don't really have a guy like Bullock who can fit in the different.
At least not yet,
Yeah.
right? I'm talking about, listen, you want to stop the run, that's hyphenated last name, that's Bauer. You want to cover, it could be Wright. You want to get after the passer, it could be Shavers. You got 4 different body types of jacks with McCullough and Noonan and Ochoa's a stud and McGay who can get after the passer. All those guys have different things that they do well. You know what I mean?
Yes, I think you nailed it, that they have a lot of versatile parts, but when it's 1st and 10 or 2nd and 7, and you're playing a team that's going to run the quarterback, and Cincinnati is going to do that. We know that they will. Who's going to go make the play, and who's going to go make it at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage, or do you need to scheme up run stuffs? And if you're scheming up run stuffs, is that what exactly does that look like? Do you leave yourself vulnerable in some other way? So I'm sure they're thinking about that and talking about it. And I don't know that. Yes, Ty Robinson was a good player at Nebraska, and so was Nash Hutmacher, especially against the run. So you got to have a guy that it's hard to move. And that's probably Elijah Judy, and then you got to have some other guys that can get off blocks and make plays. And I just have a sense, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Cincinnati will come out and say, "Yeah, we're going to blow 4 wides and we're gonna test this secondary." I just don't think they'll do that. I think they'll.
I just don't know with the new faces on that old line how you could in Sorsby that you think you can line it up and run it.
Well, Sorsby can run.
Well, he can. He can. I'm talking about playing behind a new offensive line with that mentality. QB run game isn't the same as getting it tanked at you. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's true. And so we'll see. We'll just have to see what they do. Satterfield's history. I'm talking Scott Satterfield.
Okay.
His history at Appalachian State. They ran the ball a lot, and they want to involve their quarterback, and they want to run the ball kind of downhill, and they've done that at times at Cincinnati, but I don't know that they've been true to who he is as a coach, and I don't know that the system there is entirely worked. And it's possible that the system that Fickle had developed when he left Cincinnati didn't necessarily fit. So we'll just have to see. Now they signed a bunch of receivers, Cincinnati did, in the transfer portal, and they're a lot of lower division guys. They're not. I think there's one high profile transfer, but a lot of lower division guys. A guy from Lindenwood who's 6'5", So they're obviously going to want to try to throw the football too. And I think Sorsby can do that. I just don't know if Cincinnati's big vision game plan against Nebraska is to go out and throw it 40 times. If that's what they do, I think they're going to struggle. I just don't think that they're going to be able to crack Nebraska's pass defense like that. I think you got to run the football at Nebraska and then, try to get passes off of it. And USC, I thought, did a nice job of that the last fall. And so, I'm sure Cincinnati watched a little bit of that and said, yeah, we can do some of those things. It's just not entirely sure. Yeah, you don't have to go out with two tights. Michigan will do that, though. Michigan will, at the end of the month in September, at the 4-game stretch here, Michigan will come out and say, this is what we're going to do. And we certainly don't have the whatever to throw the ball 40 times. So we're going to do what we did last year and try to pound it at you. And Nebraska will have to be ready for that, too.
Sam, if you had to, and I'm sure you'll hate doing this, but if you had to pick one guy that really jumped out to you the most, whether just in general or going in with your expectations, who really stood out to you?
Oh, I thought Isaiah Hunter had some plays. Obviously, he had a few things that he can work on. I thought that Keelan Smith and Quinn Clark both looked good. Yeah, so those two young receivers did some really nice things. Cortez Mills did a couple of nice things. On the defensive side of the ball, Vincent Shavers makes plays. He's not tall. He's listed at 6'1". I don't know if that's what he is. He makes plays. He hits people. I appreciate that. Andrew Marshall hits people. Young safeties, Caleb and Donovan. I think there's a lot of quality there. So, there's a lot of young talent in the secondary. Again, I don't know if it's going to be game one where they're playing 50 snaps. I think by the middle of the season, you could see some changes there, and they're not going to be bad ones. Even if that means a veteran isn't playing as much, maybe it's time, maybe it's just time to move forward with some younger guys who now have a taste of it and are just ready. And we'll just have to see how that all goes, how it goes. Heinrich Harburg had a play that was pretty darn impressive. He got on top of, I can't remember if it was Singleton or somebody else, and he just blew by him. That's one of the things that Harburg can do. If you tell Harburg, look, run real fast in a straight line and just run past these guys, he can do that. So part of that's going to be, okay, you can't just cover him with a linebacker, and you can't. Not if he's running straight. Now, if he starts, making, lateral moves, maybe you can. But if Heinrich's just running a straight line up the middle of the field, you better cover him because your linebacker is probably not going to carry him. So there's that kind of stuff too. Carter Nelson's the same deal. If you think you're going to cover Carter Nelson with, a jack linebacker, you're not.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been Jack Sawyer, would it?
Right. No, it's just not going to work.
It just wouldn't.
Yeah.
So now that doesn't mean he's going to get the ball, right? But what it means is you create, okay, that safety cannot sit on anything because somebody's going to have to go and get that tight end because he's not going to be covered by a linebacker. So there's a whole bunch of different things that can become factors in the pass game. Might help Ja'Cory Barney get more catches. It's hard to say. So I like the picture when it comes to throwing the football. I thought Dylan did a nice job. He's still very, very poised in the pocket, calm. There's times when you'd like to see a little bit more urgency, but that's just who he is. That's just how he throws the ball and how he's going to play.
Sam, what do you? So I was a little taken aback. I had to double check to make sure I heard it right because I'm like, is he talking about the week of or until the actual game on the 27th? 8 more padded practices seems almost criminal, doesn't it? I don't know if that struck anybody else as ridiculously low. I couldn't believe it when he said it.
I think their week of practice.
No, it's the 27th.
Yeah.
That's incredible. It is not the week of it. That's all they get until the 27th.
Yeah. it's low. They've tried to do a lot of things to help with player safety and player health and concussion protocol and things like that. So, I think it has helped to reduce the number of injuries, but it does create, I don't know. We'll see. I think they'll tackle okay. I remember 2 years ago when they went to Minnesota, they tackled just fine. I mean, they hit Minnesota with a ferocity that I hadn't seen out of a Nebraska defense in, I don't even know, 10 years. So they can get it done. And Rule, he'll work within the parameters and do what needs to be done, but he will create a physical team. This is a physical team.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
Yeah.
If they were playing in the Big 12, I might pick them to win, but they're not. They're playing in the Big 10, and every team, with the exception of one or two, are just real physical in the Big 10. And UCLA, we'll see. But, I would have said UCLA wasn't very physical last year, and then UCLA came in here and won. So I think most of the teams in the Big 10 are pretty physical and pretty tough. And so you got to match that. You're not going to surpass a lot of teams necessarily in terms of the physicality. You've got to match it.
Sam, what did you think about just the shape of Dylan Raiola, how he looked with some of the passing drills, and we saw him move a little bit. I know it's different with the green jersey, but what did you think about that?
I thought he played well. His physique looks good. I know he had a scramble and looked quick. And, I'm still, again, there are times when what you want to see is just throw the ball with authority, trust it, go after it, fire it away. I think there's still times when he's awfully poised. I'll give him that, and just needs to let it go. And, but I think he does a nice job. It's clear that he's grown as a quarterback. He's still a pretty low key leader on the field. He's not going over and screaming at people and getting in people's face. And, when there was the little dust up down on the field, and it wasn't much between Jeremiah Jones and I think it was Kamir Prescott. Rail went down there and kind of put his hand on Jones's shoulder pad. He didn't do anything crazy. He just, he didn't get in his face and go, let's go, or anything like that. He's, Rail is a very calm, sort of, steady leader, so to speak.
It's interesting with all the talk about, offense and defense. I remember right after the announcement they made it official about the punter. One of the things I said on the show, I was like, I think we'll be pretty impressed at Archie's athleticism, right? He can do a lot of different things. And do you think that adds to the level of comfort on special teams, or it complicates things because you have more options of what he's capable of doing?
Well, I think the answer could be both. Yeah. So I think it could make them better, but also, when you open up options, you also open up, well, here he could do this, he could try this. He's certainly got a talented foot or talented coordination and all those things. I'm going to reserve, too much praise or whatever until
it's not praise,
just
athleticism.
Oh yeah, no question he's got it. I'm just and that goes for the kickers too. The analogy I always use for both of those positions is golf. And you can go out on the range and have a great range session, but you got to go to the course and you got to do it. You got to do it when it matters. And these guys got to go do it when it matters. So whoever the kicker is has got to go make the kick when it really matters. And Archie Wilson as a punter's got to be able to do it in the moment when it needs to be done. When you're at the 48, when you're at the opponent's 48 and it's 4th and 13 and you're punting, you're up. Whatever, 10-3 or it's 7-7 in the third quarter, and it's a close game. You got to put that ball inside the 10. It's not, well, I tried and I hit a really pretty touchback. You got the difference between somebody starting at the 7 and somebody starting at the 20 is vast in the things that you can do with your offense. And so those are the kind of moments where Nebraska can't lose yardage. They have to try to at least do as well as they can, and hopefully, do better than just good. So, I think it helps.
I mean,
the
shoot,
ability
like
to roll right and left, it helps.
Fourth and 2 at, the plus 46, your stable of backs has gone for 171 in the game in the third, halfway through the third quarter. You penning them deep or you going, right? Sometimes the more competent you are, the more variables you introduce. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, if you're behind in that game, you're going for it. You don't have a choice. If it's 24-17, you're going for it on 4th and 2. If you're up 14, maybe don't, because you don't need to reintroduce the way that Scott Frost did the opportunity for a team to get the ball at the 50. And the reason that the onside kick years ago was a bad decision is because he had just gone up 11, and instead of forcing that team to drive 80 yards to score a touchdown, he let them drive 47 or whatever it was. And you can't do that. That's not you don't do that. Period. End of story. Not when you're up 2 scores. You make the team earn the first score to get it back to 1 score. And so it doesn't make any difference now, but that's one of the reasons why you do what you do. And that 4th and 2 is score dependent, but it also helps to have a punter that can actually go do it, because if it's 4th and 2 and you're up by 14 and you're like, yeah, we're not doing it. We're just going to punt this. First, some people will boo, but second, if you put it at the 3, then you're asking that other team to go 97 yards just to get within 7. And it's really hard to go 97 yards to get within 7, because you're not probably going to be in nothing but throw mode.
You just get the sense with the more competent your coordinators are on each level, the more game-to-game feel those decisions will be, right? If you feel like you're pretty competent on defense, you're pretty competent on offense, you're pretty competent on special teams, that's going to be a little bit more of the feel on the flow of the game, as opposed to being bad in a couple of 2 or 3 of those areas, and the decision sells itself.
You got to a point in the last couple of years where we're not going to kick a field goal.
Yeah.
Right. So there wasn't really a decision to make.
Yeah, you knew when you were calling plays, you got 4 down.
Yeah, I got
this. I think that it'll be interesting to see the more competent they are, the more how situationally dependent they can become.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's true. And again, you just, with the kicking deal, you don't know. The field goals, you don't know until they do it. And John Hull made a couple of bombs last year, but you have to be able to make those in those key moments. And they missed against Illinois and Iowa. They missed huge ones, and that's the difference between 7-6 and 9-4.
Sam, last one for me here. I know you got to go here. Did you get a chance to get much of a look at the transfer offensive linemen and Spindler and Pritchett?
A little bit, yeah. They can play. They're going to play, and they're certainly. Pritchett is really physically impressive. I mean, he's very impressive.
Agreed.
Yeah, he's
As one of my former teammates once told me, he'll probably look like that when he's 40.
Right. Great. He looks great. And he's going to be a good player. Spindler's a little smaller than Pritchett, but he plays with just an edge and a get after it that I think you can appreciate, and they'll be good. The offensive line, I think, is going to be pretty good, and I think it's pretty quick, and I think it's pretty nasty. I think Spindler and Evans and Lutovsky are pretty nasty guys on the field. They're nice guys off the field, but nasty on the field. And so I think they'll get after it. I'm not too worried about the offensive's aggression and any of those things. I think they're going to be all right. And I think they'll be able to run the ball and pop some big runs on gap plays. I don't know about zone plays. You never know. But I think they'll pop some real big gap runs, and guys will get in the open real quick.
That's our guy, Sam McKewon, Omaha World Herald. Sam, appreciate the time as always. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, take care.
Thanks, Sam. I totally needed, my anxiety sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I totally needed to. You talked about the young guys and playing in the secondary. Like sometimes even, is it weird? Do I strike as weird that sometimes I need to hear that?
No,
I needed Caleb to say, hey, listen, Coach Rule used me as an example, shouted me out Saturday night with physicality. Like I needed that to go to bed. I gotta cross over where where my own kid shouldn't be helping me with my competitive stamina. That's more the dad.
Yeah, that's a very dad thing. But I mean, even
I don't know. I've managed it so
stakes are getting higher.
Well, up until this point,
stakes are getting higher.
Oh,
I mean,
it'd be easy if I didn't have to see it every week too.
Yeah, yeah. Stakes are getting a little higher. Starting to ramp up a little bit here.
Oh no, I feel like you made that a little too bottom liney for me.
Sorry,
I needed more than that.
You need a little more gray area.
No.
Well, it's
no back pats for Robbie.
It's the ever evolving nature of a father and son relationship.
The stakes are high.
Do you want me to go into the changing dynamics of the relationship as your children age?
Nope. I'm good.
Even though like I have no emotional investment outside of like loving Nebraska, like I kind of needed that because I didn't watch the press conference until after I came home from practice. And so I'm texting you and I'm like, am I crazy? Is Jordan Ochoa good? And then I hear Coach Rule say it and I was like, oh, thank God.
So it was
like
funny.
I'm not crazy. Like I saw what I saw.
I was watching I think I can say this. So he's one of those guys. This was the practice after one of the coaching clinics. So this is a long time ago. This clearly was spring.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to one of the Nebraska's coaches about him in particular. And he said, one thing you don't have to worry about with Oach is want to. He's going to be just fine in the want to department. We're just still learning. And I was like, because remember when we came back after the bowl game and I was like, man, Ochoa came out of nowhere in those practices.
Yeah. Well, if you
he played, right? And I'm like, people were wondering who he was. Another guy who you watch him, they're getting to the point where if you don't practice like that, you should be sticking out like a sore thumb.
Oh, so you're going to be left out in the cold a little bit.
Yeah, Ochoa gets it in. I mean,
well, if you
again with Ochoa and McGahee and McCullough and
Mav,
like I keep saying Maverick because I like a lot of the things that Maverick does.
He stood out to me on Saturday. He played,
and he's physical. He's tough.
Yeah,
he's smart. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy.
He played with the top groups a lot, and I was impressed. Honestly, he stood out. I know I had to differentiate in my notes because him and McCullough are both wearing 22, and unlike also Mosey, there's a lot of 22s running around. But on defense, there's and I had to differentiate because I had to differentiate which 22 because he actually stood out more to me than McCullough did on Saturday.
He's just really strong and stout, and he's got.
I was impressed.
All right.
Because I had to look him up because I had sort of, I'll be honest, I had sort of forgotten about him.
He's a good player.
I had sort of forgotten about him.
He's a good player.
Let's take a quick break here. There's another guy I want to ask you about. I'm going to put you on the spot because you didn't answer my text message about him. So
do you want me? I won't go back and you want me to just ask? Okay.
Just free. We're going to do it. Free reaction when we come back. If you do want to be prepared when you're getting your car looked at, though, make sure you're going to Dingman's. Dingmans.com. They've got you covered. They're the best place in Omaha to get your auto body repaired. Locally owned, family owned, and operated. They've got deep roots in Omaha, and they're invested in you and in the community. Make sure you go to Dingmans.com for all your auto body repair needs. That's DB. I'm Ravi. We'll be back right after this.
A successful financial future is built one coin at a time. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned saver, we've got the financial resources and team of experts who will be with you every step of the way. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
I think this week's been excellent. I I think they've all worked hard. I mean, we're not anywhere near to where we need to be. I think when you start looking at like the constructability of a team, it takes pieces, it takes parts, it takes time. But, I mean, I've been really, really pleased this week with the effort and attitude every single day. And they're trying to get better. They like football. They like to practice. So it's a clear step in the right direction.
How's a health team through the first one?
Yeah, we unfortunately had, Mac happen day one. We had a couple, we've had a couple kids from the summer lingering soft tissue. Quentin Ives, went down with some soft tissue day one. I think I mentioned that. I don't know if I did or did. I thought I did that. So he's still not back. Anybody else? Turner's getting closer and closer to being back. I think Preston Tamua he had like an illness, a sickness, and so it's not an injury, just working his way back. He's getting closer to being back.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, because I think the thing with us is we put people at spots, but yet we believe in we try to be really meticulous in terms of like, hey, where are the ways in which we can move them around? I mean, it's cliche to say positionless player, but like, we like those types of players. And the one thing I've asked for the last 3 years, I got it a little bit last year, and I'm getting it way more this year. And part of it's like the learning process. It's I mean, Tony wanted to do it, but John really he wanted to do it. And then John's we're a little more advanced in terms of, it's year 3 is, we got a couple pass rushers at Jack. Let's put them all on the field. Like, let's not say only one guy can go. And so, I think Deshaun brings great burst, explosiveness, speed, power. He's really improved his physical. Like when you see him, he looks great. So I think he's found a home, yet we can still utilize his versatility to, move around and attack protection. So I like everything that he brings. Willis is one of those guys who, when he gets out there, he always produces. And I would not sleep on Jordan Ochoa. Like, he is coming on, and he has been released since the bowl game, right? So bowl practice. I didn't say that. I say before that, but like,
need to hear that. I honestly did not hear that.
That's the one that I was talking about. Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's the one I was talking about that I heard after practice.
I didn't even know he referenced it.
After I had texted you.
About the bowl game, I should say.
Yeah.
Because that's when
he popped off for you.
I was like, well, he and Ives.
Yeah.
They were just, I'm like.
Well, that's when he popped off for Holgerson, too. It was like, hey, that 20 is
Because those bowl practices, especially here before they got to New York, I was like,
it's pretty good.
I think the light must have turned on.
Well, and we'll get to this in a second, but when you have somebody who the want-to's never a question, like you said with Ochoa, physically has all the tools you would want.
He's still learning.
Once they reach, there's sort of a tipping point on the learning curve with guys like that where they figure out how to play the sport, and then it seems like they came out of nowhere, but it's like it feels like the light switch flipped, but really it's been this slow kind of arc, and then you get to this tipping point where it's like, oh, now they can show it on the field.
Right.
That's how Ochoa seems to me.
He's long and strong. Long and strong. I know that. Those guys all on the field at the same time, that'd be interesting.
So I did like that. That was one of the things that Rule said, where instead of talking about oh, I got to be better than this guy, or I got to get on, I got to be a number one here or whatever. He's like, no, we just want guys that are worried about being great. He's like, we're smart. We'll figure out how to get everybody great on the field.
Which was a lot of the shutout.
Yeah. Yeah. Where it's like, hey, well, like you worry about you worry about being the best football player you can be. Don't worry about who's ahead of you at your spot. We're smart coaches. We will get you on the field. He's like, if we got two great guys, you're both going to play.
Guess what? I was like, I'll sleep. Anyway.
So I wanted to ask you about a guy.
Okay.
Because he didn't really practice, but he went through drills.
Mm.
And
how do I still not know who you're talking about?
I texted you about him.
Okay.
And so I watched him go through drills, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But he was wearing a green jersey on defense, and so he didn't really practice. Just went through the kind of the warm-up drills and then some of the non-contact drills. I'm curious about Jalen George.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I'm a little curious because
yeah, you did ask me about him.
I
needed some context too.
Yeah. So and here's the context: is I'm watching him warm up because you know me, like I was going to be locked in on the lineman, and I'm watching him go through drills, and I don't have the roster yet, so I'm sort of just looking at numbers and seeing guys move through, and I know Kiona is working through it, because that's my guy. But I'm watching this guy in a green jersey 90 going through, and he's doing the bag drill, right? Where they're coming through, they club
hand swipe clubs,
they go
tight
through.
turn.
Yeah. Well, so there's like 4 of them, right?
Yeah.
They're going boom, 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 and then the tight turn, right? And that dude has some violent hands.
Yeah. They just haven't gotten him healthy.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to give anybody too much credit. I think though, if you ask around in your sphere of influence in the recruiting world,
mm-hmm.
I think those guys were excited to see him early and were a little disappointed that he wasn't able to go.
Yeah.
I think people were intrigued. I know Shafe was, and I think it was kind of the consensus
mm-hmm.
that I think a lot of people thought he was a candidate to play early.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
I think.
Yeah.
I
think that sounds right.
Yeah. I got to go back and hey, was that him you guys were talking? But I think in the recruiting circles,
mm-hmm.
when they plucked him in the portal, I think he
was seen as a good get.
Yep.
Because I don't really remember, if I'm being honest. I'd have to go back and check with those guys. But I was like physically, as he's going through drills, which I get drills and playing are a different thing, but of guys that I know can play and that we've seen play, like he looks the part.
Yeah.
And
some guys are just like that. I told you about after one of the spring practices while I was with Jay Moore
mm-hmm.
and Jason Peter.
Yeah.
And we were watching Hofkin.
Oh, yeah.
And I was amazed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how does he get those size 22s moving, right? Like these,
yeah.
Guys were messing with him. Oh, he's just happy he has some shoes that finally fit and,
yeah,
whatever. But then I just, you watch like his movements and his violence and you're thinking, that guy's, if he understands anything, he's probably got a chance to grow into something pretty good because he's undersized, but you watch him move.
Yeah, moves well.
And he moves well. Like, that's the kind of thing, the Georges, you're watching him move.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of thing I think Coach Rule's talking about where you just worry about
mm-hmm.
being – because sometimes that's how they find you.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're not getting the reps.
Yeah,
right?
sometimes that's just how they find you.
And I do think that's important because there's – like it kind of goes –
It's part of the competitive standpoint.
So I was going to say, it goes to what you're talking about, right? With guys that maybe like, oh, they'll go hard when you're doing live reps, so maybe they don't go hard in the drills. Or like if there's going to be separating factors, it's all going to matter,
mm-hmm.
right? There's that defensive line especially. And Hofkin's a really good example because that dude physically looks really impressive. I don't think he knows how to play football yet.
He's pretty – he's slight.
Yeah. He's a little lean.
But, man.
I don't think he quite knows how – I was watching him a lot in drills.
Hofkin?
and I don't think he quite knows how to play football yet.
He's violent though, isn't he?
Yes, because it would kind of be it'd be very.
Did you watch McKewon at all?
Yeah, I did.
On the other side, like pretty oomph.
Yeah,
Like
he was
like snappy.
He was interesting.
Why?
Well, because he worked in with groups I wasn't quite expecting. Like he was working in with groups a little higher than I was expecting.
Yeah.
And those groups, because he was working in with the second group quite a bit. And that group was still pretty good. That's why I was like, I feel like I can go 9 deep on the O-line and I don't even have to blink. And I feel fine. He was one of those, like he's probably in the 9.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I mean, if he's not in the 9, then the number's
11.
If he's not in the 9, the number's higher then.
Yeah,
it might be a 10 or 11.
Just say 10 or 11.
Right? But like I'm not
is Sledge in your 9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my 9 might be like 12.
But he told you his philosophy.
Yeah.
He's still going to get guys to develop in the high school ranks.
Yeah. I watched Bricks a little bit. He didn't look ready to me. Just
strength-wise?
Yeah, he didn't look ready. He was part of the groups that you could kind of see the D-line starting to work him a little bit, like when those guys started getting put in. And listen, I'm very high on the D-line, so I'm taking that with a grain of salt, but like you could tell a difference. Like there was a group where you could tell a difference on the offensive line in terms of those guys aren't ready. Not that they won't be, but I don't think they're ready this year.
So I'm going to write that down.
I also was kind of impressed with Peter Zach on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Cade looked good.
So we were doing the recruiting special. It was just me and Jess, and Coach came over at the tail end because that day was very stressful. That was the Terrence Knighton.
Yeah, it was the T. White
morning. So it was.
Oh yeah, that was the Terrence Knighton day.
It's just a stressful morning when you're trying to celebrate the kids. And we were just going back, combing through his film.
Yeah.
And I was like, one of the coaches came in and they're like, oh yeah, he's a game wrecker.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just kind of fell in love with watching the clips, and he's just a pup.
I don't know if he'll play yet.
He's just a pup.
Because he's still
but one of those guys in a year and a half.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know what I like when you get a chance to see these is because you can tell, and it may take time. Like we want guys to play tomorrow. Like I want guys to play tomorrow. Like,
sure.
Well, if they don't play by then this means this.
If I see a guy like that, I want him to play.
In my head, it's like, man, we got a lot of time for these guys to develop. At least I know they're getting the right guys.
Because you got to figure, okay, Peter Zach they probably try and get him into 4 games this year and redshirt him.
Pet shock.
Is that how you say it?
I think so.
All right, my bad.
He looked like a man. Even Jess was like, oh my gosh. Like he just was.
He's menacing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how he played.
And physically probably not ready yet.
Yeah.
But that's a guy that you're like, okay, kind of the opposite of a Hofkin, right? Where you're like, oh, that dude's a really good football player right now. We'll get him there physically. And like, listen, he's 6'5", 265. He's not little, right?
That's a good call on Keenan Torres too, Lance. Lance is on it.
So I did.
He liked McKewon. He likes like Sledge, like Pyle, Torres. That's a good young.
Yeah,
it's a good young group.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys in there that you feel pretty good about. Like I said, whether it's 9 or 12 or 11 or somewhere in between, you feel good about the offensive line room depth in a way that, when's the last time you could have? When's the last time you're like, oh, we go too deep, I feel good?
I told you I had to question myself.
Like that's a long time.
Like driving home in the spring.
Yeah. I
was like,
did I see what I just think I saw?
And I don't even know why I'm asking because it's not like you can verify.
Yeah.
But that's how I felt though. I'm like, I might need to take some time to am I overhyping this or do I know what I'm looking at?
I think the offensive line's really good.
How about we got guys that are typically toe the line. So I think the offensive line can. I'm not saying Sam, has played on the 84 Dolphins or anything, but most guys are afraid to go out on a limb and say, I think the offensive. I just used them as an example 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I said I think we're still afraid to say the offensive line can be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is if you say that and then they don't play well, it'll be week 3, and you'll get those fans that'll say, I remember in the offseason you said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't have any skin in the game real time. They just wait and see how it turns out. And I just think.
Then they pick you off in hindsight.
I just think the offensive line shows flashes of being really good.
Which doesn't, I mean, honestly, it doesn't surprise me, right? Because I've liked Donovan Raiola, right? That's one of the things I've been the most constant about for the last 2 years. I'm like, hey, everybody gets better under this guy, right? Everybody that's getting to spend multiple years with this guy is getting better. And then you start getting in guys that
You think they do a good job with nutrition and strength and conditioning?
I think they do a phenomenal job with that. I also think he does a phenomenal job of finding the guys that he knows he can teach to be good at what he wants them to do, right? And so, and let's be honest, the first couple years weren't even his guys. We're finally starting to get to see some of the guys he recruited, and I really think it's going to turn a corner from being like, hey, this is a pretty good functional offensive line, we don't have to worry about it, to like, hey, we might be getting to impose our will territory here.
And so how did you have to remind yourself that it was day one of pads?
Yeah.
Or do you just end the deal?
I didn't realize it was day one of pads until later. Because I think Rule said it in the presser, like, hey, this is our first day in pads. And I didn't watch the presser until after. So I wasn't conscious of it real time. And honestly, if you hadn't told me, I wouldn't have been like, oh, that was clearly the first day in pads. Like, I wouldn't have thought that. I thought they were pretty physical for the most part. The one thing, I know that the defensive backs had some lapses. I did think, especially early in the one-on-ones, they were hyper physical. Like, you could tell that they were, honestly, I almost texted you in real time, like, hey, they're like, oh, they're just going to make him call it this year, huh?
Yeah, you know what else is funny? And Shane, you can grab him this week if you want to, Severe. He texted and one of the DB, and I'm not going to steal his thunder. He can talk about who he wants to, but he goes, yeah, one of the things I liked about such and such is he wasn't grabbing like the rest of the defensive backs early. To your point.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I hate it when it happens to the teams that I root for, but it really seems like they're going to be like, hey, call it. We dare you. Like, we're just going to be hyper physical. And if you call it, that's fine, but that's how we're going to play. And listen, I guess I'd rather have that than the alternative. Like, you don't want them to play soft. So you go hard at it, and you it's easier to get them to back off than it is to try and ramp up the aggressiveness. And so I'm fine with that, especially early. And I think it also helps, like, defensive back, especially corners, really hard to have an aggressive mindset. Like, you're always, like, I think.
Yes and no.
I mean, physically, you're backpedaling. Like, you're literally backpedaling.
Yeah, but you get the Shermans and the Sauce Gardners and the Ramseys. You can be that guy's really trying to get in, I think.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Appears to be RSM. I don't know what that stands for.
I don't either.
He's like peeking in the window. Somebody's creeping in my window. Ah, Goody Mob. Did you ever used to listen to the Goody Mob? Dirty South type stuff.
Anyway.
I'm sorry. Cell therapy? No.
Nah. Wasn't really a Goody Mob guy.
It's fair.
It wasn't my jam.
Terrell Farley's. That was his jam. Wow, the rain just out of nowhere, huh? Annie Lennox. Here comes the rain again. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm talking football.
No, defensive backs. Aggressive corner.
You can be. Like, Marshall is going to be aggressive. See, you're right. They're aggressive.
No, I get that, but I also feel like I think it's hard to be aggressive in those spots. I'm not saying it's impossible, and you obviously have guys that have done it at a high level.
Yeah.
But it's it feels like, from an outsider, a more passive position because you have to react to what's happening to you.
I think we've kind of seen this evolution of, from the Deion Sanders and the Eric Allens and some of these guys that didn't always stick their face in. So what OCs have done the last 10 years is the formula is simple in theory. It's the whole simple versus easy thing. Not to quote my man, DJ Rezak. But it's simple. Simply, you want cornerbacks to tackle and linebackers to cover. Like, that's what you want to do on offense.
Yeah.
So I do think that defensive back coaches now know that, right? Why'd they put all those guys on notice after Saturday?
So they need to be more physical.
They need to be more physical.
Yeah.
Clearly not happy with the tenacity, the technique, just the fundamentals, right? Where's my leverage? How do I set the edge when I'm down into the box? Like, it was Tony White's number one prerequisite. He said you have to be able to tackle in this defense.
Yeah.
Coach Butler and certainly Coach Snow, and he's affectionately known. I'm not going to call him. This is Caleb referred. Coach Addy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. Physicality out of that back half is going to have to be a thing.
Yeah.
And I think over time, that's what you will see. That's what you'll see flashes of.
Yeah.
I think those are the types of guys that they'll see.
And I'll take it. Like I said, I think a lot of times you have.
It's incredible.
I know it's coming down out there. I think a lot of times you have some guys that's not their natural tendency. So finding the guys that is to be physical at those positions, I think is a huge plus. And again, if you need to back it off, that's easier than trying to get guys to ramp up. That just
Marshall had a deceptive frame, doesn't he?
He does. He's bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think he was. I thought he was leaner than that.
Little thicklet.
Yeah. I thought like more narrow. Like not that he's not lean, but you know what I mean. Like he's built a little bit. Like I would have, if I didn't have numbers, I would have guessed he was a safety.
Yeah.
Like I just looking at him, not quite as thick as Tommy Hill was at times last year, but Tommy Hill was pretty thick for a corner.
Yeah, but that wasn't like muscles.
I mean, some of it was.
Again, I'm not gonna make up anything.
There was a muscle in there somewhere.
What?
Nothing. Appreciate the pick six against Colorado.
I tell this to people all the time. All the time. I seldom go out of my way to disparage.
Yeah.
But I'm also, if I don't say anything,
you know,
I probably think differently. I'm cheering my brains out for Malachi Coleman.
I know.
But there's a reason I didn't say much.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, I understand.
I'm cheering my brains out for Mosey, but I'm patient. I'm patient. It's hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a hard sport, and Division I football is brutal.
It's hard to do.
It's difficult to play.
It's hard to do.
It's just
not for the weak.
No.
Mentally or physically.
And I'm not.
Maybe more mentally.
And it is a job. Like, let's not act like. And yeah, they are being compensated for it now, but the time spent, if you want to be good,
full time.
Yeah,
it's full time.
That's why he's always going to talk about the team GPA.
Yeah.
Over time, he thinks that's going to be a set apart.
I also think
right, because we're kind of flipping the kid now. Now we're getting back into this kind of this. It's okay to be smart. It's okay to be a really, really good person. It's okay to be a good athlete. We're getting back into this well-rounded thing again. It's not just about playing sports. So,
what did he say last week? Better people make better Huskers.
They just do.
We'll be back with Phil Steele of the college football preview fame coming up next year on Hurrdat Sports Live.
A successful financial future is built one coin at a time. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned saver, we've got the financial resources and team of experts who will be with you every step of the way. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
think this week's been excellent. I think they've all worked hard. I mean, we're not anywhere near to where we need to be. I think when you start looking at like the constructability of a team, it takes pieces, it takes parts, it takes time. But, I mean, I've been really, really pleased this week with the effort and attitude every single day. And they're trying to get better. They like football. They like to practice. So it's a clear step in the right direction.
How's the health of the team through the first week?
Yeah, we unfortunately had, Mac happen day one. We had a couple, we've had a couple kids from the summer lingering soft tissue. Quentin Ives, went down with some soft tissue day one. I think I mentioned that. I don't know if I did or did. I thought I did that. So he's still not back. Anybody else? Turner's getting closer and closer to being back. I think Preston Tamua he had like an illness, a sickness, and so it's not an injury, just working his way back. He's getting closer to being back.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Here's a kick to start the half. Jaden Harrison might get a chance here. Going to bring it out from his own 2-yard line. Cuts it inside, takes it out to the far side, across the numbers, along the far sideline. Jaden Harrison hit the Jets across midfield. 40, 30, 20, 10. It's a touchdown. Yes! Kickoff return.
Second down, handoff, Blue comes to the left side, broke the tackle, 30, 35, here goes Gene to midfield, the 40, the 30, say goodnight to this one. Gene Blue, 77 yards for a Longhorn touchdown.
It's Ohio State together at the mountaintop, champions of college football.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by the great Phil Steele of college football preview fame. Phil, thanks so much for joining us. How are you?
Hey, all. I am doing great. How about you gentlemen this morning?
Phil, we're great. I'm not going to kid you. The last couple of years, as Nebraska's been more cooperative, I feel like I've been replaced, man. I'm like the jilted ex-lover, man. But I'm glad that that you're getting taken care of, man, because the information is fantastic.
Yeah, and for the listeners that don't know, there was a coach prior to Coach Rule that I didn't get a chance to talk to, and so Damon would fill me in as what's going on in practice. But now that Coach Rule's in charge, and I've talked to him when he was at Temple and at Baylor and here at Nebraska, it's a lot more refreshing. And Damon, I miss our conversations in the spring, though.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Anytime, man. I just want to be able to pick up the phone and be like, hey, you know what? This is pretty fantastic. How difficult has it been? I mean, the portal, you have to wait to go to press. You pride yourself on accuracy. Is it tougher or easier with information out there now?
Oh, it's a lot tougher, Damon, especially with the second portal window ending at the end of April. It used to be some teams ended their spring in March or early April, and I would always give the coaches like let's say a week to have their exit interviews with the players, then go over the rosters with the coach. Now I have to wait till the portal's closed. So now I'm trying to cram 136 head coaches into the month of May, which is almost impossible when you look at schedules. Hey, the coach, the school calls and says, hey, coach available at 2:00. Well, I got coach at 2, I got a coach at 3, I got a coach at 4. I mean, it's tough to fit them all in. But I got to talk to at least, I believe it was 125 of the 136 this year. Ooh. But it dragged all the way into June. Normally the last week of the magazine, I do not talk to coaches, don't have time, but I'm like, I got all these coaches. Yeah, let's go ahead. We'll set them up. So I talked to like 12 more coaches in the first week of June. And I put the magazine a little bit behind, but the information to me is valuable. And it's probably my favorite part of the job is talking to the head coaches.
Phil, I got to ask because I think DB and I are both fascinated by the landscape of the contenders for the college football playoff this year. And I start right off the bat with the fact that basically none of the top contenders are returning a quarterback from last year, basically outside of Penn State. You've got Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Ohio State, Notre Dame, all breaking in new quarterbacks. Penn State obviously brings Drew Aller back. But how do you start to figure that out as you're going through this process when you've got so many unknowns, even once you do have the roster together?
Yeah, well, I've been doing it for 31 years, and for a lot of first-year head quarterbacks come in, do well. It depends on the surrounding talent. I mean, take a look at Oklahoma last year. They had 0 returning starters on the offensive line and a receiving corps that was down their top 5 receivers. So Jackson Arnold looked pretty poor last year as a starting quarterback. I think he'll play a lot better this year. Now that he's got my number 12 rated offensive line and my number 5 set of receivers at Auburn with him. And I also think Oklahoma's offense will be a lot better. So you have to look at the surrounding talent when it comes to quarterbacks. And let's take Notre Dame for an example. When you look at Notre Dame, they've got my number 2 set of running backs in the country, led by Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. They got my number 3 rated offensive line and number 14 set of receivers. So if you bring in a new quarterback, and they've got one of the top defenses in the country, one of the top teams, they don't have to go out and be Superman each and every week and win. Then I think it's good for their development, and I think a guy like C.J. Carr will do well. So I think you have to factor in with the new quarterbacks is what's the surrounding talent around them is just probably as key as their talent is as well. One other top team that does return their quarterback this year, by the way, Clemson with Cade Klubnik.
Yeah. Yep.
Phil, let me ask you something. I want to stay with Oklahoma here just for a second before I get to another team that is in your top 12 most improved. And I think you'll know who I'm going to ask you about next because they are on Nebraska's schedule. But I want to stay with Oklahoma. That front four should be fantastic offensively. As you mentioned, they're better on paper. How critical or how big do you think that one is for Michigan? They get it at home. It seems like it's big for Brett Venables during this era if he wants to continue some upward momentum. Like, how are you looking at Oklahoma, especially early in that matchup with Michigan?
I like the Sooners in that game. In fact, I've got the Sooners, my number one surprise team in the country. And you talked about the most improved list, Damon. That's teams that had a losing record last year that I expect to have a winning record this year and have the biggest improvement in record. The other list I have is my surprise team list, which are non-top 10 teams. Nobody's really talking about them, but I feel they have a shot at making the playoff, and actually think Oklahoma has that opportunity. You go back to last year, Oklahoma played one of the toughest schedules in the country. I mean, they took on all the big boys in the SEC, and they only had 3 SEC home games last year because the Texas game is at a neutral site. Well, this year they only have 3 true SEC road games because the Texas game's at a neutral site. They finally get 4 SEC home games. They get that Michigan game at home as well. So it's a better home schedule for them. There's nothing wrong with their defense last year. They held opponents to 87 yards per game below their season average. Number 6 in the country. They got 8 starters back on D. Venables calling the defense.
That D-line is going to be silly.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you 100%, Dave. I got my number 1 rated defense line in the country with R. Mason Thomas and Jaden Jackson. You look at them offensively. Their offensive line had 0 returning starters last year. They got Bill Benboz, the offensive line coach, one of the best in the country. He's got a veteran group to work with. They're going to be vastly improved. You look at the receiving core, they were below average, a weakness last year because of all the injuries. Well, they get their injured players back. And I'm going to bring up Clemson as an example there. 2 years ago, Cade Klubnik had a banged-up receiving core. I mean, his top 3 receivers were out prior to the year, and he had 19 touchdowns.
Oh, did we lose him, Shane? All right, let's give him a chance here.
Let's grab him again.
Yeah, no, these lists that he puts together are one of my favorite things.
Yeah, it's the best part of what he does.
You know,
I love it.
Obviously the information is great, right? Helps us do our job. But some of these lists, whether it's the most surprising, which we'll get to as well, or the most improved, like that's some of the best stuff that he does.
Yeah. Wait till we get to this other team. I don't want Nebraska fans to be afraid, but
well, Nebraska's on a different list that I like.
Yeah, and Cincinnati's on one that you may not.
Yeah, I know. No.
We got him back, Shano? Okay.
We talked about one with Nebraska. I think it might have been the week.
What's the list you like that Nebraska's on, Rob?
Well, there's a couple lists that Nebraska's on that I like. One of them was, and this, I know you're not going to like this because you're not a schedule guy, but in terms of, he put him on one of the most.
Doesn't mean I can't acknowledge it.
He's got Nebraska on one of the most, I'm going to call it most manageable schedules. I'm not going to call it.
We have Phil back.
Okay.
Let's rejoin our guy, Phil Steele, though, as we continue our college football preview.
We left off on Oklahoma's receivers and getting them back, and you were using Clemson as the example, Phil.
Yeah, and then you hung up on me, Damon.
It was all Shane.
I mean, geez,
I'm sorry.
But anyway, as I was saying, I was using Clemson as an example. They had the injured receiving core. Klubnik had a 19-9 ratio. Last year, they got those injured players back at receiver. They added some pieces, 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. All of a sudden, Cade Klubnik looked great. I think John Mateer steps into a great situation. They get Deion Burks back at wide receiver. They add in some pieces like Satenya coming in from Arkansas, Lewis coming in from Southern Illinois, Giovanni Gibson coming in from Arkansas Pine Bluff. Then at running back, they add in Jaden Ott, who was the best running back in the Pac-12 2 years ago. Was banged up last year, a shell of himself. He's back to 100%. Bringing in Mateer at quarterback is massive. They bring in the same offense he ran last year as Ben Arbuckle's Washington State coach. So take that with a better schedule. It's still a very difficult schedule, but more big games at home. And I think Oklahoma has a shot at actually making the playoff this year. So they are my number 1 surprise team.
I want to stay on the most improved list just for a second because as I'm perusing, you flip pages. Oh, Low at number 8. 5-7 a year ago, 3-6 in the Big 12, the Cincinnati Bearcats. You like their trajectory, and it starts with Sorsby, right? What is it about the Bearcats that you like?
Oh, we lost him again.
Oh, man.
I wonder if it's the weather.
It's just like being at home, man. I talk to myself.
Yeah, I think we might have there might be a weather situation here with the phones. I'm not sure what's happening.
How does weather? What do we got? Down power lines or what?
I don't know. I don't really know how technology works.
What'd you say, Shane? Okay. Hey, Phil, you there? Oh, all right. So just talk to me instead of yelling, Shane, if you can. I can't hear. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate when he's on the. I mean, he's got to earn his keep somehow.
Got some technological difficulties today.
This is totally made up, but can't you just see Bill saying, "Man, that Shane, he's got to earn his keep." No, Bill wouldn't say that. Not about our liquid.
No, it's just it's one of those days, I guess.
Yeah.
We were having the
Just
camera
like
earlier.
Monica, just one of those days when I want to be all alone.
I feel like
you aren't a big Monica fan.
I'm not. No.
Yeah, more cultural.
I feel like I'm over on your references today.
Yeah, and they haven't all been minorities either. That's usually where you struggle.
No, that's not true. I like a lot of different cultural groups.
I'm just serious.
Shane,
how we doing over there, little pocket Hercules?
Okay, I'm trying. Let's try it again.
Hello.
There he is. All right, Phil. We're gonna do better. I promise we pay our phone bills. I don't know what's going on.
I was just going to ask you about that. If you're paying your phone bill, Damon, maybe the end of the month you missed that one.
It is. It's an oversight on my part. I want to start with Sorsby and Cincinnati as they open with Nebraska. They're number 8 on your most improved.
Yeah, they're a dangerous team this year. In fact, Coach Satterfield's first 2 years, very inexperienced. First year, ton of transfers. Even last year, number 112 on my experience chart. This year, they're all the way up to number 26 on my experience chart. I like Sorsby at QB. They bring in Tyree Walker, who was at Wisconsin last year at running back, to go along with Evan Pryor, an Ohio State transfer. At receiver, they've got plenty of talented transfers there as well with Cyrus Allen. Jeff Caldwell coming in from Lindenwood. And, the thing I found, Damon, is these FCS transfers transferring up, there's a higher percentage of hits with these guys if they have experience, more so than the P2 guys transferring down that don't have experience, because they have the experience. They come in with a great attitude. They hit the training table in the weight room, get bigger, stronger, faster, and you got yourself a great addition. So watch out for Jeff Caldwell this year. Offensive line, veteran unit. Defense, one of the best. Corleone, remember, their nose tackle was banged up at the start of last year, never really 100%. He's back.
He's a Sunday guy.
Yeah, he is. He's an NFL guy, and he came back to improve his stock. So this is a dangerous Cincinnati team. I do think Nebraska having the crowd edge, and I'm bullish on Nebraska this year. I think they win this game, but that's going to be a heck of a contest. And I think Cincinnati in the Big 12 is going to surprise a lot of folks this year.
So when you mentioned you're high on Nebraska, they made another one of your lists in terms of maybe the most surprising. What about Nebraska makes you bullish on them this year?
Numerous things. It's year 3 for Coach Roll. And generally it takes time to, like the offensive line, for example, the first 2 years, somewhat inexperienced. And let's face it, they've been injury plagued. What'd they lose, like 3 starters early last year off the offensive line? They just need to keep these guys healthy. Now, all those injuries have added up, and now they've got a lot of players with experience. In fact, they've got a bunch of players that have 7 players that have 9+ career starts under their belt. So you've got a deep offensive line that can rotate. I like the addition of Dane Key, a wide receiver from Kentucky, and Hunter coming in from Cal, a wide receiver. Rayola is now a sophomore. He's going to have a much better year this year and have a better control of the offense. The running backs, I mean, once Holgerson took charge, Johnson last year had 528 yards the last 4 games, so they're dynamic there. My biggest question mark is they had a dominant defensive front, and now they're inexperienced in the defensive front 7, but I still think they'll be strong. This has been a top 25 defense the last 2 years. I like the secondary. And then when you look at the schedule, it's manageable this year. I've got them favored over Cincy, Akron, Houston Christian. I think they knock off Michigan at home on September the 20th. And then they Michigan State at home. At Maryland's winnable. Minnesota's going to be a tough test. Fleck has got an underrated squad there. I rate that one a toss-up. I rate the USC game a toss-up at home. USC was basically 5 plays away from being 11-0 last year. They lost 5 really tough close games. I don't know if Nebraska fans know anything about losing close games, but
it comes up quite a bit around here, Phil, you jokester.
Why are you bringing up old stuff, Phil?
But that was USC last year. 5 close losses, or they could have been 11-0. But other than that, I mean, at Penn State's the only game I have them a true underdog in all year. So I think Nebraska's a legitimate, when I say surprise team, that means a playoff contender. And I think the Michigan game, the Minnesota game, and the USC game are your 3 key games to determine whether or not this team has a shot at making the playoff this year. But Matt Rule with those double-digit wins second year, it wouldn't surprise me if that happens this year.
Let me stay with a team that you just mentioned in Michigan. The quarterback play has obviously huge for them. I'm with you. I think they stubbed their toe in Norman. I think Oklahoma is waiting. How do you feel about Michigan, given the offseason and kind of what they've had to replace through the draft?
Yeah, first of all, they're in a lot better shape than they were last year. Last year, they lost basically the whole team. They had nobody back on the offensive line, nobody back at receiver, and the defense. Well, the defense was solid and loaded. The defense is loaded again. I mean, Derek Moore and Rashawn Benny are NFL guys up front. Barham at the linebacker spot with Hausman are both NFL caliber guys. So they have the defense. They're improved on offense. They're a good interior. Center guards, tackle is your question mark there. Wide receivers, it's sort of average. I'm not overwhelmed with the group. And they've got a true freshman quarterback in Bryce Underwood who's exciting. I think they might take a couple lumps early with the Oklahoma and the Nebraska games on the road. Then once they get into the schedule, they do get Maryland, Northwestern, Michigan State on the road. Those are all winnable. The USC is a tough one. So I think overall, they're not going to be 6-5 at the end of the year and a 3-touchdown underdog going against Ohio State. They'll be better than that. But I don't think they're going to be back to what they were 2 years ago when they were winning the national title.
Phil, I want to talk to you about another Big Ten team here with Illinois. They're a team that's been a little controversial on our show.
And Phil's a big you're a big production guy, right? You like starts in production, right, Phil?
And experience. And so I'm looking at, I believe, the only team in the country with a 3-year returning starter, a 3-year returning D coordinator, and a 3-year returning offensive coordinator. Yeah. How much do you value that when you're looking at Illinois this year?
I think it's huge. And I'm going to go back to last year's Illinois team. They were 10-3 and knocked off South Carolina, but I wasn't blown away with Illinois last year. They had some close wins during the course of the season. The Michigan game was impressive. That's one that they really had circled. In fact, the Purdue game in the second half, you could tell they were looking ahead to Michigan. They let Purdue right back in that game. But this year's Illinois team, I think, would be a touchdown favorite over last year's team. You've got veteran quarterback, as you mentioned. You got Fegan and Lowry at running back. Offensive line, I mean, Bielema knows offensive line. He's got 5 guys back who started the last half of last year. He really likes the offensive line. You look at the defense, Akis up front at the rush end, and then you got James Thompson up front. Xavier Scott and Torrey Cox are one of the best corner combinations out there. This is a legitimate Illinois team this year. I'm really looking forward to September 20th when they play at Indiana. I think that's a playoff elimination game. I think both teams are capable of making the playoffs this year. That's a big one. They host USC. 7th game of the season last year, they took on the defending national champs at home against Michigan and pulled off the upset. There was a Michigan team that lost a lot to the NFL. This year, 7th game of the season, they host Ohio State. Ohio State lost 14 players to the NFL. Keep your eyes on that one, guys. October 11th. I think we might learn a lot about Illinois in that one, but they're definitely a playoff contender this year. In fact, the Big Ten's probably got 7 or 8 playoff contenders.
I'll let you kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and I'll get to Miami in a second. I know you love Florida State with the losing record as a bounce-back candidate. I think they're number 1 in that category. Lagway comes back to practice this week. In the Sunshine State, Miami excluded, you lean Florida State, or are you taking that Gator bait?
The better team is Florida, but Florida's schedule is just ridiculous. Once again, 2nd straight year. Last year when I talked to Coach Napier, I'm like, Coach, you're playing the toughest schedule in the country. He's like, it might not look as tough at the end of the year. What he meant by that is I think we're going to knock off some teams, and maybe you'll think our schedule was more reasonable. And they did. They got to 8 wins. If Lagway is healthy, they have my number 5 rated offensive line and number 10 rated defensive line. And I believe you win a lot of games at the line of scrimmage, and this team has that. But you look at Florida's schedule, they're going to be an underdog in 6 games, at LSU, at Miami, at Texas A&M, Georgia and Jacksonville, at Ole Miss. And so being an underdog in so many games in the year, it's going to be tough to improve much on the record. Meanwhile, you look at Florida State. I don't think they're as good as Florida, but when you look at their schedule, it's more reasonable, and I do think you're going to see a massive jump in the record. Now, Castellanos is at quarterback. He was recruited by Gus Malzahn, their offensive coordinator, which is a great hire, by the way. I love the hire of Gus Malzahn, and unfortunately for Nebraska fans, I also love the hire of defensive coordinator Tony White. I think he's going to do a great job there. So anyway, Castellanos was recruited by Malzahn at UCF originally. I think he's a perfect fit for the offense. This is a team that I thought went in the tank last year. You know, they brought in so many transfers, things didn't go well, and all of a sudden they went in the tank. But Norvell's had success in the portal, both 22 and 23. I think they'll have success this year. I think they lose to Bama, but they should win their next 3 games. If they somehow beat Miami of Florida at home, and I rate that game a toss-up, then they've got Pitt, Stanford, Wake Forest. You know, they've got a very manageable schedule down the stretch. I think you're going to see Florida State have a huge uptick record-wise, maybe get more wins in Florida. But when Florida plays Florida State in the season final, I've got the Gators a 10-point favorite.
You mentioned Alabama there briefly, and I'm fascinated with that situation this season because I'm a big Kalen DeBoer fan. Thought it was a really tricky, it would have been a tricky job for anybody to take over, but especially for him, kind of never having roots in that area necessarily. And they're breaking in a new quarterback in Ty Simpson. What do you make of Alabama this year as they try and navigate their way sort of back to the top of the SEC pack?
Yeah, they're clearly one of the best teams in the country. You look at their units. I rank every single one of their units in my top 10. And the amazing thing with DeBoer is last year, you remember when Saban left, all of a sudden a bunch of players hit the portal. This year, they hardly lost anybody in the portal. That tells me that this year's team is bought in to Kalen DeBoer. He brings us back as offensive coordinator and Ryan Grubb. I think Kalen DeBoer is one of the best head coaches out there. He took a less talented Washington team to the national title game in his second year at Washington. Now he's got probably a more talented team. And I talked about quarterbacks and surrounding talent on offense. This Alabama team has got Jam Miller, Daniel Hill, Dre Washington, Richard Young at running back. Some guy, Ryan Williams, you might have heard of him at wide receiver. The offensive line, one of the best in the country. So he doesn't have to go out and win games, but he's probably a better fit for this offense than Jalen Milroe was. You know, he distributes the ball better. I think we'll see less ups and downs than we saw with Milroe. Defensively, they're nasty. So many NFL guys on that unit. And then you look at their schedule. I only have an underdog in one game this year. That's at Georgia, and I've got a slight underdog there. They are a legitimate national title contender. And when its playoffs roll around, keep in mind, Ty Simpson won't be a first-year starting quarterback anymore. He'll have 12 games under his belt. He'll be a veteran, and that makes them very dangerous playoff time.
That Alabama-Florida State game early is intriguing. Let me get to the other one because, again, you can get 2 birds with 1 stone. I think we underappreciated Ohio State's offensive line up front, both running backs. And listen, Will Howard was better than the free world thought, in my opinion. I think they're in trouble against Texas. I can't believe Texas is catching points, especially with Texas's front 4. How do you like both those teams and the significance of that opener?
Yeah, huge game. Naturally, it's not going to really matter at the end of the year because they're both going to make the playoffs. And as we saw last year with Ohio State, Ohio State didn't beat Michigan, didn't win the Big Ten, but they won the national title. And you might see that with Texas this year because you look at their road schedule this year. They have to play Georgia on the road, Ohio State on the road. They also play Florida on the road. And I think they got one more tough. Those Georgia, Texas, Florida, Oklahoma at a neutral site. So they've got some tough road games this year. But I agree with you, Damon. I like Texas in the opener. I think they are the more veteran team. In fact, I've got them rated the #1 defense in the country.
I couldn't believe they're an underdog, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it's the fact that Ohio State doesn't really lose at home, and Texas does have 4 new starters on the offensive line, which would be my main concern in the game. But with Ohio State, they're not as experienced as last year's team, and I know they were dominant last year, especially once the playoffs rolled around. But they're not going to have the drop-off like Michigan did, going from national championship, losing 14 starters in the NFL and going down to 6-5. But they are a very solid team. They'll probably be favored in all 12 games this year. But like you, Damon, I think they, with Texas, I would take them. And I like Penn State, too. We'll probably talk about them in a few minutes. But I think when you look at those 2 games, those 2 teams are probably superior to Ohio State and probably get the wins there.
I'm going to say Penn State because I think I know how you feel about them. I want to go to Oregon. A lot of assumptions made about Dante Moore. And listen, Lanning recruits at a high level, wins double-digit games. He gets the benefit of the doubt. But they're replacing a ton, and there's some in-game things, too, with Lanning as well. What's your feel on the Ducks?
They're right up there in the Big Ten, no doubt about it. I love the way he recruits. I mean, the talent level they have, just going each position by position, you're like, wow. And, Dante Moore sure as heck didn't impress me when he was at UCLA 2 years ago. But let's remember what the supporting cast he had, and now what the supporting cast he's got here. You look at those offensive linemen he brought in. I love the addition of Matthew Bedford from Indiana, Pregnon coming in from USC. And then he's got a couple of all-conference guys, Harkey from Texas State and World from Nevada. I think he's formed a pretty good offensive line, despite the fact they lose 4 starters. Dangerous of receiver with Evan Stewart and Malik Benson. Running backs are loaded. I mean, Mekhi Hughes was dominant at Tulane, and you add him to Noah Whittington. So I like the supporting cast for Dante Moore. Defensively, they've got talent. The defensive front seven looks really good. And, in fact, when I look at their schedule this year, the only game I have them a true underdog in all year is at Penn State. I've got the at Iowa game as a toss-up, and I have them favored in the rest of their games. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Ducks are perhaps even in the Big Ten title game once again this year. I'd put them right up there with, I think Penn State, Ohio State, and Oregon are the top 3 teams, and I believe everybody agrees with that this year.
Phil, you mentioned Penn State a couple times. Let's get to the Nittany Lions. Obviously, they made the college football playoff last year, but it still sort of feels like this needs to be a breakthrough year for James Franklin, as much as that can possibly make sense. How are you feeling about Penn State's ability to do that and get over the hump?
Yeah, first time 31 years in the magazine, I picked them to win it all. And, last year, I liked the fact they got that playoff experience. That was huge. They have all the pieces that Michigan had 2 years ago and Ohio State had last year, which is a veteran team, homegrown. And by the way, I'm going to do a thing on philsteele.com, a blog. It'll be the end of this week or early next week, which talks about homegrown talent and the teams that aren't relying on the transfer portal to build their teams. In other words, these guys have come in as freshmen. They're now seniors. You have used the portal like Ohio State did last year. Ohio State, most of those players were recruited as freshmen, but they did hit the portal to add to their team. Same thing what Penn State's done. And they've got the quarterback. I think Drew Allar will have his best year in his third year. He made big-time improvement last year, going from 59% to 65%. They've got Singleton and Allen in the backfield. I feel the best set of running backs in the country, and that doesn't even includes Corey Smith and Quentin Martin, 2 true freshmen last year. They got their feet wet. That's a deep running back core. I have them the number 1 offensive line in the country. And then what was their weakness? It was wide receiver last year. Well, they bring in Kyron Hudson from USC, Trevor Pena from Syracuse, and Devontae Ross from Troy. They've upgraded that unit. Defensively, there are no questions. People talk about, they've added Jim Knowles. I mean, they had a really good defense last year with Tom Allen as one of the better defense coordinators. If Knowles comes in and just gets done what happened last year, they're in good shape there. Danny Dennis, Sutton up front, Zane Durant, defensive tackle, Tony Rojas at linebacker. They've got A.J. Harris at corner, Zach Wheatley at free safety. These guys are all NFL caliber dudes. They do have to play Ohio State on the road November 1st, but they've been close to Ohio State each of the last couple of years, and I think this is the year they break through. I'm really bullish on Penn State this year. I think they got the best team in the country.
Hey, let me ask you something, Phil. You mentioned wide receivers transferring from SC, so it immediately made me think of Zakiah Branch at Georgia. Wideout has been a problem for them. I get the Bobo Stockton thing. How's that going to work as he matures? It seems like Georgia, for as Georgia can be, flying under the radar. Legit, fair, foul. How are you feeling about the Bulldogs?
Clearly under the radar.
It seems like it.
Yeah, and the whole reason is they don't have the marquee talent returning from last year, but they have a lot of guys returning from last year. So, and here's the thing. Georgia last year was everybody's number 1 coming into the season, right? And then Georgia last year had to play Alabama, Texas, and Ole Miss all on the road, and they lost 2 of those games. They still ended up winning the SEC title, but then they got their quarterback banged up and lost in the first round of the playoffs to Notre Dame. Well, this year, Georgia's 3 toughest opponents are Alabama, Mississippi, and Texas. But they get them all at home, between the hedges. And they haven't lost a game at home between the hedges in 5 years. They're undefeated at home. I think Stockton brings mobility to the running back core, as you mentioned, Damon. They've upgraded the receivers. They bring in Branch from USC, Kobe Young from Miami of Florida, Noah Thomas from Texas A&M,
Thomas
London Humphreys. Yeah, Thomas is a big-time pickup, I think. The offensive line looks solid, and defensively, every year I go over the team with them. They are so deep. I mean, their third string are 5-star guys back there. So I have no doubts about their defense. And they had Elo Amadozi coming in from Army, which I think would be a big-time pickup, a rare transfer from there. So I actually have Georgia favored in all 12 games and picked them at the top of the SEC this year. So they are well under the radar. Nobody's talking about them because they don't have the star power.
Can you envision a world, and I'll let you talk about Miami before I get a couple conference predictions from you, where Florida State, Florida, and Miami are all relevant? It sounds like you like Florida's potential, Florida State to turn it around. Are you believing in Cristobal as he just continues to procure talent, but maybe underachieve a little bit? You in on the Canes?
Yeah, I think they're right up there. In fact, their game at SMU on November 1st is going to determine whether or not they get to the ACC title game. And they're going to give Notre Dame a heck of a game in the opener. Now, quarterback Carson Beck is not going to be Cam Ward, but he is a pretty good quarterback, and he's got a good supporting cast. You look at the offensive line. When I went over it with Cristobal, he feels it's outstanding, one of the best ones he's had. You look at the defense that they have. Ruben Bain and Akeem Messidor are dynamic defensive ends. They're going to get a lot of pressure on the quarterbacks. So this is a very talented Miami roster. And Cristobal keeps adding to it. I think when I was on the phone with him, he's like, Phil, I got to take it. It's recruit. Phil, I got to take this. It's a recruit. I'm like waiting. And I was like, come on, coach. But that's how it shows you how important recruiting is nowadays. But they get Florida at home. They do play Florida State on the road, which I think is a big game. But I think the SMU game determines whether or not they're in the ACC title game this year. They don't have to play Clemson, which is a big plus for them. They're a dangerous squad. I think one of the top teams in the country.
Is that Notre Dame Miami game still less than the key number? Is it 2.5? It was less than 3 when I looked. It's still less than the key number, right?
Yeah, I believe it's 2, and that's probably where it should be since Miami's at home, heat and humidity and all that stuff.
New quarterback,
and they are a pretty
Notre
good
Dame
team, and new quarterback making a start, and you got Ruben Bain and Messidor racing in off the edge. So that's I think an accurate line. You make it 3, you're going to get Miami money. You make it pick 'em, you're going to get Notre Dame money.
Phil, let me ask you this: out of the teams that are considered the top contenders for the college football playoff, who do you have the most questions about?
Well, throw out the teams that you're considering.
I mean, so like Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, Clemson, Notre Dame. Let's go with those 8.
Well, those are the 8 that I would consider as the top contenders this year. Biggest question marks. I would say I'm going to go with Ohio State just due to the experience level. They are one of the, they lost a lot from last year. And last year's team, they had so many players turn down the NFL, opt to return. Now all those guys are gone. They do have a first-year starting quarterback. There's no doubting the talent they have. But hell, last year's really, really talented Ohio State team lost 2 games during the regular season, for crying out loud. Didn't even make it to the Big Ten title game. They do have a schedule. It's laid out. Like I said, they will be favored in all 12 of their games. But do they win all 12 of the games is the question. So I'm going to say the biggest question mark is Ohio State due to the fact of what they lost last year.
Let me get you out of here on this. It's a convoluted. It's a crowded conference, right? 4.5 wins is the lowest. 8.5 wins is the highest in the Big 12. It seems like Arizona State should be the prohibitive favorite with what they bring back. Yet I kind of feel like they're not. When you look at the Big 12, and it's a 2-question, who's the best team in the Big 12? And if you were going to take a dark horse, is it Baylor or Texas Tech between those two? Who wins the conference, and who's a legitimate dark horse in the Big 12?
Well, I'll tell you, there are 7 teams that I consider legitimate contenders, and they are Baylor, Utah, Iowa State.
Utah's
Arizona
on your most
State.
Improved, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Much different Utah team. Arizona State, Kansas State, Texas Tech, and TCU. All those guys are there. And what I did is I went by the schedules. Texas Tech, they added so much talent with the transfer portal to an already experienced team. But Joey McGuire is 15-5 at home. He's 6-10 on the road, and they have to play at Utah, at Arizona State, at Kansas State. So I'm like, can they win those 3 games against teams that are equally talented? You look at Baylor's road schedule. They're playing at Oklahoma State. They are playing Cincinnati, which I think is much improved. But they also play Arizona on the road and TCU on the road. So a much more manageable road schedule. Baylor's home schedule, they get Utah at home. They get Kansas State at home. They get Arizona State at home. Same thing with Utah. You look at their road schedule, it's West Virginia, BYU, Kansas, and then Baylor is the one tough team they play on the road. But I'll say this about Utah. When I talked to Kyle Whittingham, he said this is the best offensive line he has had in his 21 years. And he's had some really good offensive lines. Remember last year, the question mark with Utah was, is Rising going to play? Is Rising not going to play? And when he finally did play midseason, he looked poor in that game. And then they were the last 2 games of the season, they're starting a 5th-string quarterback. This year they bring in Devin Dampier from New Mexico, who did more with less. I mean, you look at the talent New Mexico had last year, there is no way I could have forecast the amount of points New Mexico put up. Dampier had a great year, and he's got a better supporting cast here at Utah than he had with that offensive line with good running backs. And you know their defense is solid. You know the special teams is solid. And they get the toughest games. They get Texas Tech at home. They get Arizona State at home. They get Kansas State at home. And with Muss, the student section, that's one tough place to go in and win. I think Utah is going to surprise a lot of folks. But watch Iowa State. I talked about that homegrown thing that I'm going to put up, the homegrown blog. That's Iowa State. They don't use the portal very much, but they don't lose players. All these guys have stayed. They bought in. And there was a point last year where I thought Iowa State was the best team in the Big 12. They ended up losing to Texas Tech on the late play. They lost to Kansas, but overall, they were really one of the top teams. And one of the reasons that they lost those games is the defense really got hit hard by injuries. In fact, when I talked to Coach Campbell, he was just rattling off the injuries, guys that were out for the year, guys that were out for the end of the season. And I think with the improved defense, with Rocco Beck, the QB, with the best offensive line he's put on the field, watch for Iowa State this year. That's probably your best value if you're looking for a way down pick to win the Big 12 this year. You probably get your best odds on Iowa State.
All right, I'll get you out of here. I appreciate your time, Phil. 2 quickies. Belief factor. Do you like Cignetti for a repeat performance or Minnesota to be more of that thorn in the side if you're looking for a team coming from off the grid in the Big Ten? Indiana, Minnesota.
Indiana's going to have the better record. And I'll be honest with you, Damon, prior to my call with Coach Cignetti, I'm like, well, they lost a lot from last year. And then after going over the team with them and going player by player, I think this year's team might be more talented than last year's squad. But the difference is last year they were playing UCLA, Northwestern, Michigan State on the road. This year they're playing Iowa, Oregon, Penn State on the road. So a tougher road schedule. Maybe tough to match last year's record, but I think they're the better team of the two. But the thing with P.J. Fleck is every year he overachieves my expectations, finishes higher than I expect. I think they're going to get good quarterback play out of Drake Lindsey. I like Darius Taylor at running back. The defense is solid. I think Minnesota's going to have a good year, but Indiana is the better team and will have the slightly better year than Minnesota.
All right, and I get it, Mullen's had a ton of success. Can he do it building what he's done at UNLV? I mean, that's every four-star retread imaginable, man. He's built it with talent.
That is my big question mark this year, is exactly that. Because as I mentioned, there's been a high, and I talked to Coach Mullen about this prior to the conversation. Before I went over the roster with him, I said, Coach, I find that there's a higher percentage of hits with these FCS or group of 5 guys moving up than there is with the big guys coming down. And he was sort of silent. And then I went through the roster with him. I'm like, oh, that's why. Because he had so many players that were coming in from the P5. And I'm like, Coach, good luck. I mean, you don't have a lot. These guys don't have a lot of experience. You know what I mean? So can he get them to play up to their talent level? He was very confident when I talked to him that he was going to get these guys to play up to their talent level. But I have question marks about that because going through rosters, I have found a higher percentage of hits with the lower guys moving up than the higher guys moving down.
Gotcha.
That's our
fantastic
guy, Phil
stuff,
Steele. Incredible, the best in the biz. Phil, we appreciate the time. Make sure you get to philsteele.com or go buy the magazine. I got mine at Barnes & Noble personally.
Let's get it.
But, Phil, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks, guys. Always enjoy the conversations. You only hung up on me a couple of times, so I can handle that, though. But, yeah, the magazines, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million are the 2 brick-and-mortar places to go look for it, or philsteele.com. What were you going to say, Damon?
Low bar to be better for next year, Phil. That's all. Low bar. Appreciate you.
Right. Hey, a lot of fun as always, guys.
Thanks, Phil.
That is Phil Steele. Make sure you go pick up a magazine. I got mine right here in my
All right.
backpack.
Did he scare you more with Minnesota or Cincy? Neither. That's a 10-win Nebraska team, DB. All right, then. Young Ravi.
I didn't see anything on Saturday that led me to believe anything different.
Yeah, I think some people kind of change, which is interesting because it's only one practice of a lot, and it was the first full one in pads.
Think about how much more information we have now than we did before.
Yeah.
So that's the other side of the coin.
Got a little something.
If you're looking for information, make sure you get to centrusfcu.org. They've got financial education for you, whether you're looking for lighthearted advice from vetted experts or want to learn on your own. Centrus Federal Credit Union has you covered with the financial education sources right at your fingertips. Go check them out, centrusfcu.org, federally insured by NCUA. We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, and with that depth, of course, comes competition in the position groups. Let's start with the libero position, obviously. With Lexi Rodriguez's departure, who takes over that spot? And Jacob and Urias, who are the couple front runners here?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the two main position battles, like there's competition everywhere, but the two ones that are probably most up for grabs right now are opposite hitter and libero. And they're two very different battles. At libero, we're familiar with the competitors there, and obviously you've got Kerry Leinbach, the freshman from Lincoln Lutheran, joining that group to make it even stronger as a whole. But the two players competing for that job played last year, in Lainey Choboy and Olivia Mauk. And both of them showed significant strengths last year. They really helped the team. They were a big part of their success last year. And now it's just a matter of kind of who was able to win out. And Danny said a lot of it might come down to personality and how, like, what the team needs. Like, do you need the more steady presence that Olivia brings? Do you need kind of the more energetic, outgoing presence that Lainey Choboy has? So that'll play as much into the decision as on-court skills, because they're both very talented, obviously, and we've seen that.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centrus Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys just have like a lot of doubters and stuff that have doubted them throughout the years, and a lot of guys have been through his program, had a lot of losses, and they want to get back to playing their standard of football, and I think that's where I'm coming from as well.
Henry said in Las Vegas that you came in and had a message that you believe this O-line room was better than where you were at with Notre Dame. Why did you just believe that coming in?
Yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily better. I feel like kind of puts a disgrace where I came from. I think it's just we have a lot of talented guys. I think we just have to keep sharpening a lot of these edges, and this room can be the best O-line in the country. I believe we can win the Joe Moore Award, and I think we will. I think we just have to take it day by day, though. I mean, we have to come in with the same urgency, the same consistency, and to prove that we are the best.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, and it is finally here. The week of the Pinnacle Bank Championship presented by Woodhouse is here. Make sure you get out to the pinnaclebankchampionship.com to get your tickets to the Corn Ferry Tour stop here in Omaha. Whether you're in it for the golf, the concessions, the concerts, whatever it is, I just like to drink outside. That's my game plan. Make sure you get out to the Pinnacle Bank Championship. It's a good time. And no matter what you're into, the pinnaclebankchampionship.com for tickets.
Interesting.
Well, listen,
That's a nice admission.
Well, listen, I like golf. I like drinking outside more.
So that's probably, and it was a player, and these usually been pretty buttoned up. That's the first time anybody's ever really kind of given a little subtle eye roll.
Who, Rocco?
Yeah. Which, at some point, players are going to say something where you're going to be like, oh, come on, man. But you want them thinking that way. Whether we believe it or not isn't the issue.
No. They need to believe it.
Yeah. You want to be the best, go be the best.
That's listen, I'm buying. I'm buying on the offensive line.
Okay, so you're buying on the offensive line. So what are you going to need to see from the defensive line that you've been touting for months and months?
I think the defensive line is good too. They can't both be good.
Is that how you got to 10-2?
Yeah.
My dude.
If I like both sides of the line, I feel pretty good about it.
Well, that's going to be the key.
I mean, what did you say last week? If I'm right on the defensive line?
They'll be fantastic.
Yeah, they'll be really, really good.
Yeah.
And I know the offensive line is good. I have zero questions about that. I feel good about the offensive line.
Okay.
That's a good group.
I'm writing it down. I do have my trusty book.
You have your little you're gonna keep notes, you're gonna keep receipts for me?
Yes. Yes.
You're not ready to make any grand proclamations yet?
I'm like Anita Baker, man. I'm giving you the best that I got.
And
get you.
Nope.
There's no way you even know that song.
Nope.
Giving you the best that I got.
Oh,
baby.
I do know that song.
Yeah, it's Anita Baker.
Anita Baker.
Yeah.
Part of my very diverse repertoire.
Repertoire. All right then, Shane.
Repertoire.
Did he give you did Phil give you the willies about Minnesota or Indiana more? Or Cincinnati? I think we're low-key afraid we're scared to death of the Bearcats.
I'm not scared of anybody. I think he's underselling the offensive line.
Yeah.
For Cincinnati in terms of that being a problem.
Big bone crusher guy over here, Shane. Never scared.
Is that a wrestling reference?
No, he rapped a song called Never Scared.
I'd have to Google
when I
scared.
go outside.
Is that one?
Club, I ain't never scared.
Oh, I know that one.
Okay.
Well, I know the chorus. I don't know the rest of it. I don't know about Bone Crusher and all this other stuff.
It's fine.
I know the
baby steps.
We ain't never scared. I know that one.
TA. Magnum TA, he says he's with you.
Let's go.
Totally agrees with you, L3.
Tanner,
let's go. He said maybe 11-1.
Let's go, Tanner.
What's wrong with you people? Do you like my guys today?
I do like your guys. We got Phil Snow and Addison Williams, who, maybe have something to do with the defensive backs.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe a little something there.
I'm in on those guys today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
On the defensive backs or the coaches?
Maybe.
I'm in on the coaches. I think those guys know that they need to be better than they were Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things you said to me was about the defensive backs.
Yeah, one-on-ones was rough.
Yeah, so somebody mentioned in the chat, and it was a good call out. So there was I think it was supposed to be a 7-on-9. It didn't really end up being that. It was more of a 7-on-7.
Well, they're two different things. So what were you saying? Were they throwing?
Yeah, so it was a throwing.
And it wasn't 9.
Right, yeah.
That would be run.
Right, I'm talking about the schedule. I don't think they actually ended up doing the 7-on-9.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the printout.
Yeah, so I don't think they actually ended up doing the 7-on-9. Or if they did, my attention was elsewhere. But it was more of a 7-on-7 that they were doing in the passing drills, and that was a rough session for the defensive backs. Part of it is there were a couple where Dylan put the ball in a shoebox, and that was pretty tough.
Oh, I don't know if I've ever heard that. It's pretty good. Shoebox? That's pretty small.
Oh, it's about the size of football, right?
Yeah, it's pretty small.
There was a couple where he did that. There was a deep ball to Cortez Mills. They got him in the corner of the end zone. That was a good throw. Good move by Mills to get open. Safety probably late getting over the top. Wasn't quite there. Or they held him with
Did you watch the tight ends much?
I did watch a lot of one-on-ones with tight ends. I didn't see him a lot do anything else, but I saw a lot of I saw a lot of one-on-ones with tight ends with the linebackers and safeties. I was impressed by. I thought Lindenmeyer was good. Not sure Ingerson's quite ready, although it's early, right? So
he's a big kid.
He is a really big kid. Made a couple nice catches, but it seemed like some of the pass.
Well, getting separation is always going to be a thing
for a guy that big.
Yeah, he's got to be a legit
6'7", I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
you like Danny King?
Danny King was all right.
Danny King has got some nice hands.
I feel really.
I need Danny King to know that Danny King's a good player.
I feel really good about the top 3 tight ends, and then I think there's options after that.
Yeah.
Lindenmeyer, I think, is by far the most well-rounded. I don't think it's close.
He's a good player.
I think he can do everything you want a tight end to do.
Again, another guy that will get paid to play.
I was really impressed with him. Carter is obviously the physical, athletic freak of the group, although Harburg's not far behind.
Got some work to do.
I don't know that they're going to be able to play him in line yet. They're probably going to have to find more creative ways to get him the ball if they're inclined to do so. And then Harburg, I don't totally know what to do with yet in terms of where I think he's going to play. I think they've got options between those 3 guys to line them up in different spots and do different things. But I think the only traditional true tight end we're talking about is probably Luke. Agree, disagree? Am I crazy?
I agree.
Lindemeyer's a nice, well-rounded tight end.
Yeah.
That dude can play. No matter what you ask him to do.
Lane, 8-4, says they start the season 7-1 and go 1-3 in 1-3 in November.
Pass.
No, remember.
Yeah, Big V for Vendetta guy.
Yeah, it was a fantastic show.
Hugo Weaving.
It was a great show. Yeah. I mean, without seeing his face, did a good job.
Yeah, he did a good job. Big Natalie Portman guy.
Yeah, I'll rock with her a little bit.
Yeah.
That's Padme, right?
Yeah. She's a good actress.
Yeah, she's fine. She looks like a little kid, but
in that movie she does look very young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched a couple shows this weekend.
What do we watch?
One I'll never get those 4 episodes back. I watched a show called Adolescence.
Okay, I've never seen it.
On Netflix.
How was it?
It's 4 episodes. 4 episodes that covered 17 months.
Was it all 4? I mean, that's it? You don't have to go any farther?
Nah.
Or you just chose not to?
Yeah, well, in 1.5 episodes, the detectives handed off the case. And we never saw him again.
So a little murder mystery? Well,
the kid was 13.
Okay.
Kind of bullying and coming of age, and just like the movie Adolescence. They had to be minimum an hour, which seems long for a little shorty.
For 4 episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a super long movie.
Cactus Jack, Golden Voice. I've dabbled with wanting to get into Night Agent. I hear it's pretty good. Funky Giblets. I did see Department Q. It was not too bad.
I heard Department Q was good.
That was the first one that I watched.
I like that actor, Matthew Good.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of we've seen the storyline before, right? Bunch of cast-offs.
Yeah.
Quirky lead. Innate abilities. DJ, I watched SummerSlam. But did we miss that? Are you on Micah Parsons' Trade Watch?
Yeah, I'm on Micah Parsons, Scary Terry,
McLaurin.
Yeah.
Just if I'm the Commanders, you probably just got to pay him, right?
Yeah, you do.
That's your young quarterback's favorite target.
Yeah, you just pay the man his money.
Chick.
Not to go all rounders on you.
I splashed the pot.
Don't need to go all John Malkovich, but pay that man his money.
Oh,
what are we doing?
Man, Lee said, do I just Google the worst shows at 2 a.m.? No, well, I mean,
kind of.
I don't Google. I just look at what they tell me I may like on the streaming.
Here's the problem, though. This is how algorithms work, DB.
Yeah, it does say since you watched.
Yeah.
Or since you
liked. And since you've watched so
many
things.
But I've never given them the thumbs up.
No, it doesn't matter. It's like if you watch a thing on TikTok, if you stay through the whole thing or stay through enough of it, it contributes to your algorithm, whether you hit the like button or comment or anything else. It's the same thing with Netflix, right? You watch so many shows you don't like that it doesn't know what you're going to like.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like,
what, do you think I should watch Madness?
What's your...
I don't know Madness.
Oh, it's got a black guy. It's a lady, probably, or checked out.
What's your 2 a.m.
Fresh
percentage
Prince of Bel-Air guy.
on actual stuff that's good?
It's actually pretty high. I started.
It's like 7 out of 10 shows at 2 a.m. you're watching.
Sandman, but I may quit. I'm 4 in. Now, the only other show that I could remember like having that kind of turnaround was, what's the show with? They had the fake city. It was in the mountains in Denver, and they used the guy from This Is Us, the black guy with the glasses.
Sterling K. Brown.
Yep.
Okay.
That show, I almost quit after the second episode when I found out it was about some phony city, made up city, like with virtual graphics and stuff.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be really good. I hung in there. What was the name of it?
I don't know. I'm trying to find Sterling K. Brown right now. See what he's been in. It's a show.
Yeah.
We'll find it.
It was
maybe.
So I'm like, okay, do I stay with
Television?
Sandman? No.
It was a movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Might have been Apple. Was it Crapple TV?
Just
say Sterling K. Brown series.
Is it television or movie? I asked you it was TV. You said no. It's TV?
The frick, man. A movie to me implies a one-shot deal.
Yeah, so it's a series.
Yes, I said series.
Okay. I asked TV. You said no. Is it recent?
Yes.
All right, we're going to go backwards. Washington Black?
Nope.
Paradise?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, TG. Tony beat you to it.
Well, listen.
I might like Jace more than Tony. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Isn't Jace your pig guy?
Yeah. He processes meats, not just pigs. But
well,
yeah.
That's the guy you met through the pig thing. Like, what are you going to do?
Well, he's got more versatility.
I don't know his job title.
Than just the hogs.
Like, that's fine. I just...
So the difference between gutting out Paradise after a bad, like going back to it, is I knew I only had to get through 6 more episodes.
That does help.
And they ended up being really good. Sandman has a second season.
Ooh, that's tough.
But it's a time period I like.
What's Sandman?
It's really the Dreamcatcher guy. He has brothers like Chaos and
Dreamcatcher. Is that like a...
Like literally the Sandman, the guy that is in charge of dreams.
Oh.
And how nightmares will come to power. And
gotcha.
Does that sound like something you'd rock with?
Absolutely not.
It doesn't?
Not really.
I think it's kind of cool.
It doesn't sound interesting to me at all.
It's a little slow motion, but like I tell people, slow motion is better than no motion.
Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm on the shelf.
Yeah?
Tomorrow.
Oh, so we got to get somebody? Okay. Austin, you hear that? I know you're listening.
I don't know if I thought you put 2 and 2 together.
Well, I didn't really understand the extent of the situation, like what y'all had to do.
You know the 2 procedures.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that's what you were going in for. I knew you were just going to a doctor. I didn't know we were doing the whole thing.
I didn't either. I mean, to be honest, while we're at it.
Didn't know we were doing the whole thing.
Seemed kind of fast to you?
Yeah,
it seems really fast to me.
Didn't know we were going to jump straight to that, Thought maybe we get like a consult first. maybe try some like Pepsid or Imodium. I don't know.
No, it's FFWD. I'm having a Key Sweat moment, man. I don't want to go outside in the rain.
Key Sweat. That's
God, you wouldn't know that song either.
I know Key Sweat. I don't know that song.
He has a song called "In the Rain."
That's a Nick Boz, big Key Sweat fan. So
yeah. we revive him.
So him and Keith Langford.
Keith, man, my roommate.
He does. He tells that story.
Did you know he did the TBT game?
Yeah, I did. I saw him.
Yeah, he looked tan. As maybe he was out in the sun.
Probably doing some vacationing.
Cody wants my job.
No.
Cody would be good.
He would talk too much Husker wrestling, and my wheelhouse on
that. No,
he
has way more versatility.
I'm not saying he doesn't have it, but I feel like
he's going to weave it in.
Would have an agenda.
When's the last time you felt like you've been Jedi mind tricked?
Like if we let Joseph and Cody up in here, like it would turn into whatever the Chuck Todd show that that Mike does.
JD or JMP? Joseph.
Oh, JD.
Oh, that always says Husker
guy.
wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some grade A wackadoodles. Wait, grade A wackadoodles.
It's all right.
That's fine.
We got a good crew.
Yeah.
It's a good show today.
Yeah, it was. We didn't get.
We didn't
oranges.
get too dookie. Not too goofy.
We didn't get too dookie.
I was thinking Dookie Clint. Just more of your friends.
I thought you were making fun of.
It wasn't. We didn't get too. I meant goofy. We didn't get.
I don't believe you.
Too
I don't. That sounds like another 1 to 10 moment.
That's definitely not the word I would have used.
In the middle.
That's definitely not the word I would have used if I was making fun.
Yeah.
I would have used a different word.
That's
I don't even use that word.
Dookie?
Yeah.
Me neither.
Well, except we're talking about Clint. Dookie Clint. Just trying to figure out all your
My friends' nicknames.
All your friends that could come fill in for you tomorrow.
There's only one L3 though.
That's right. The only one.
That's all we need.
Some people would argue that's too many.
I need somebody to encourage me.
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. I will be back tomorrow with somebody. Somebody's going to come hang out with me.
I'm trying.
Don't forget, if you're out on the roads this morning, it's a little rainy. Make sure you're paying attention. Keep those eyes focused and straight ahead. You got one job as a driver. That is to drive. This message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. That's Hurrdat Sports Live. We'll be back tomorrow.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.